We are live. It is 3:10 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. It's across the Pondcast, the best podcast you never heard of. And folks, if you are not watching the stream, you fucking should be, because we have got an awesome show going on. We got Joshua Vergara, Zach Talks Tech, El Jefe, and then Chris. He decided to show up. He's already proper drinking. So of course this is the best podcast you never heard of. How is everybody doing on Super Bowl Sunday, which should really be a federal holiday, but it's on Sunday, so you would already probably be off anyway. So how's everybody doing today?
Good times, man. Just hanging out.
Cool. You know what? This is my first time meeting you, Chris. I feel like. And I love that this is the first time and it says Uncle Spurt. So
yes,
right.
It's my official moniker, apparently.
Absolutely, we love it. So welcome for everybody listening to the audio. You're not going to catch the full experience, but you're going to get partial experience. But we've got all sorts of good stuff. We got Zach, who was flexing his multiple camera angles. If he wants to show those, let's.
What are you talking about?
Look at that. Sharp.
Doing things here. It's just, it's just
love
a thing,
how meta
right?
this is. Also, that light dome is so close.
Which light?
The light dome is right up on you, bro.
Like right
Oh, the
here.
light though? Yeah, it's like. Oh, where's the angle? I see. I don't have a. So if you want to donate, I don't have a camera 3. But anyway,
Right.
it's like right here. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's like right there too. Look, you can see the reflection of my glasses.
Because
Yeah.
if I put it,
just a little bit of creator talk. I actually just got. I'm not using a light dome, but I just got a lantern modifier for a light.
Cool.
The
And
lanterns look cool.
It's my
yeah.
first time ever using it, so I'm actually really excited to start using that.
I saw Gerald Undone using them, and I'm like, "What's a lantern? That looks cool. Do I need it? I'll buy it."
Yeah. Get you some. Get 2 of them. Might as well just get a couple, because that's all good.
Why not?
Yeah.
So we realize it's Super Bowl Sunday, so for a lot of those, like Josh is going to be doing some cooking. Although he doesn't watch the game, he's just excuse to just whip up some good food. And what were you breaking, Josh? What was that? What you were doing?
So we're making something called birria tacos. It's like a huge. It's like really big on social media, like at the moment. But in California, like especially in SoCal, we all know birria tacos. Basically, tacos dorado, which is hard shell tacos that are dipped in the actual beef stew that makes the meat. So think of it as like,
sounds
this is
good.
a super
Moist.
oversimplification, but it's like a Mexican French dip sandwich in a way. Like it's the same type of process, but it's tacos.
And I
That
just
sounds
came.
so good. Yeah,
Oh god.
pretty much what Chris said. I mean, he beat me to it.
It's
I
been
mean, it's
slow
not a,
cooked stewing for the last 2.5 hours, so I still got like an hour and a half left for that.
so that's your whole house is smelled up like that. It's that's what I love about it's not so much even the cooking, it's the fact that when you make something like that, it just smells the whole house. When you walk in, you're like, yeah,
Flesh.
there's gonna be some food going on in this place a little later.
go
I can't
Josh.
I
wait.
hope I do it justice, because like I'm a foodie, SoCal foodie and whatnot, and I love birria tacos. But it's one of those things where like in the era we live in right now, if we miss getting something, I'm just at the point now where I want to learn how to make it myself.
Yeah,
Can we all
That's
agree
all.
that
I can relate to that.
the description that Josh just gave us is just like,
yeah, it was hot.
yeah.
It's very hot. Yeah,
Because
We're,
there was a
Sam, we're
soundboard.
showing our amateurness right now. I'm just saying.
right now we show our amateurness
No
all the
idea
time.
what
That's
we're
one
doing.
of that's part of the beauty of our show.
I'm not trying. Okay, let me be really clear. This is not. I'm not trying to flex right now. You guys know how I am. I
Oh,
started.
100%. I would.
I'm not trying to flex.
be really
Camera
clear, though,
2,
because-
camera 3,
You know what-
soundboard. I'm not trying to flex. So just camera 3.
Camera 1, camera 2.
Stop it, Josh. Anyway,
3.
Anyway, let's be really clear. Like I started it the same way as everybody else is. I mean, you've got your phone, and the nice thing about today's technology is you can just anybody can stream. Anybody can stream, right? And a lot of it will come down to content. Now, are people going to tune into Zach Talks Tech because he has all these angles? No, but it adds a nice element, right? And that was my thinking when I did this is, if I'm going to do this whole streaming thing, if I'm going to do it multiple days a week and I'm going to do clips and everything like that, I want to bring a different element to it. I want to up the game a little bit. And if it helps, like I've had multiple people comment everything saying, I love the different angles. I love that you can switch over and show off, the latest phone or whatever it is. We're playing this game lately. Like, where's camera 2? This is camera number 2. This is an iPhone you guys are looking through right now. This is an iPhone, right? This right here is an iPad. Anybody can stream right now. But if you want to up the game and bring a different element, a different style or anything to your, maybe look into doing this kind of stuff. And it makes it fun. It makes it interesting. So
Does
it's not a
anyone,
flex,
does anyone
it's not a
go
flex
into your videos with like the Easter eggs, like the freaking Street Fighter machine behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Props to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
It's
got-
Champion Edition. I prefer New Challengers, but that's Champion Edition.
Well, this,
Right.
this has all three. It has 2 champions, the new challenges. It has everything, right? This is
Oh,
the
sweet.
arcade one up. And on the other side, if we were wider, you guys be able to see I have Mortal Kombat over this side. So
that's
and
my
I'm,
jam.
and I'm finally getting light up marquees for these, which I'm really excited about. I ordered a Mortal Kombat one.
Nice. That's
And,
Oh.
and I'm working with Arcade One Up on them sending me the light up one for this one. So thank you, Arcade One Up. So I'm looking forward
Right.
to that. Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, like I said, I would have to say I wasn't a Tekken guy back in the day. My friend was a big Tekken guy. I was a Mortal Kombat guy, man.
Yeah.
I
The
bet
only
so much
place
fun.
Mortal Kombat came out in St. Louis is at the airport. That was the first arcade. So I remember in mine when I was a kid, getting up to the airport, and then like literally rows of quarters across the top of the cabinet, and people just going there. And if you can keep playing, you can keep playing. And there was like, it was a dedicated culture of people, and there were people who had already figured out. This is in the days when you didn't have the internet, right? There was like just new moves. People were just like figuring out combos and stuff. It was awesome. I remember Mortal Kombat 3 was like, I remember spending 10 hours at the airport just rocking it. Yeah, it was
So there it is
awesome.
right there.
Gen Z
Yeah.
right now is like, oh, Mortal Kombat? Yeah, right here. I'm like,
Yeah, it's on my phone.
What do you
Spend
mean?
10
No.
hours at the airport. What? You get kicked
No.
out now.
What's a quarter?
No. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like I said, the old school guys like me, like you put the quarters across the cabinet. That's how you knew, right? Put the quarters on the glass. Like if you can keep winning, you stay. If you're out, you're
like
done.
you, yeah.
I did that
Yeah.
to my son. That my son was playing the other day, and I came up and I had a quarter in my pocket. I put it up there, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I want to play next." He's like, "Well, what?"
Did you say you want to play next? I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to you kids.
And you know what's funny is I got a PlayStation 5 for Christmas and everything, and I've been playing in there with the PlayStation Plus.
He's not
pass, like,
flexing, guys. He's not flexing.
It's
I've
not
got
my
a PlayStation
fault.
5 too.
I ordered mine legit.
The title
from
of this
Amazon.
episode is Zach is not flexing.
Right.
Anyway,
I've got one
been-
of those too. So.
I've been playing the new ones like Mortal Kombat 10, and then I bought 11. And the honest thing, I like going back to the old ones. Maybe just because I'm old, but I just like. I mean, I like the new ones, but it's
No.
interesting how things have evolved, right? So
Yeah.
For sure.
I will say one thing: the PlayStation Plus collection for the PS5.
Yes.
There's some good games on there.
oh yeah, yeah. And the
At the
monthly
minute,
games,
I'm on Tomb Raider. At the minute,
are you okay? I haven't tried it yet. The monthly games are cool. Like I've tried out Control. I think Control just came out. I
Control's
knew
dope.
nothing about it, but the story looks cool. I'm gonna get into it tonight. I'm gonna turn on the lights and everything, and yeah.
yeah, Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider. There's loads of games on the PlayStation Plus collection.
I
It's
almost
just-
prefer Mortal Kombat
I was
10
like,
that's
wow.
free on there over 11. Yeah, yeah.
It was
I-
super
good.
smart that they did that because like the Xbox Series S is all about the Game Pass and like going back in time with games and stuff like that. PlayStation Plus, they had to make that collection to make
Yep.
the PS5 a little bit more.
It's not even anywhere near as good yet, but it's a
Of
good
course.
start.
It's getting there, and
It's
you know,
a good
if,
start.
if you go under the free games area on the PlayStation 5, there's so much stuff in there. In fact, my wife does not play video games. She had no interest. She gets nauseous watching these first-person shooters and everything like that. She went back and she found a game. I think it's from the PlayStation 2 or 3, where it's like a Candy Crush kind of Elsa, Frozen thing, and she ended up playing last night for an hour and a half. I timed her because I jumped on Clubhouse, so I'm listening to Clubhouse, and I looked an hour and a half later, and I took off my headphones. I said, "You've been playing PlayStation for an hour and a half." No, I haven't. She looks at her, oh my God.
Yes.
It's so great to get her involved.
Chris, what was that? I saw it was a different drink than you were drinking when you first started the stream. What did you just pour into your pint, man?
I'm drinking everything in my room basically. At the moment, I'm on the Leffe.
The Leffe,
I'm
yeah, I saw the Leffe.
Continental, yeah, bit of culture and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've got a whole shitload of whiskey lined up as well, which I got for Christmas. So we start diving into that.
This is the proper clubhouse.
Right.
This is the
I'm out. This is from
club
last
right
night.
here.
Right now, so I got a refill.
Yeah. So
I
Jeff,
bought 2 drinks just in case.
did you get a new mic? Is that a new microphone, or is that like what's the deal with that? Because that looks sharp, man. I like that setup. I wish mine's not gonna look that good, but yours looks pretty sharp, man.
You don't
How's
even
that?
know how to plug yours in just yet. So
No.
just,
All this time, like even up before now, I was still using my my Samsung QTU, and this mic is dope as hell. I'm still gonna switch back to it when I do my videos, but just for the live streams, I was trying out this one because this one was I like the sound clips that I heard of it, so I was trying to see kind of what works a little bit better. There's some things I like about it, some things I don't like about it. This one picks up much more background noise than my Samsung does.
What interface are you using?
What's up?
what interface are you using? Because I'm just wondering how
No
high your
interface.
gain is.
These are USB mics, baby.
No,
That's
no,
no
I
That's
mean-
the
interfaces.
that's the MV7 there then.
Oh, you meant
Yeah.
you meant your old one was picking up more noise.
No. This
That
one's
one is.
picking up more noise.
But what interface are you using with it? Are you just going
None.
straight in USB?
No.
Straight USB.
Straight USB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's like it's picking up a bit more background noise, which I'm like, all right, I'm okay with it for the streams, but for my videos, I'm gonna go ahead and just stick with the other one that I have, my Samsung. The Samsung sounds awesome. You know, there's almost no tweaking required after I do the recording. Just compressing and doing a little bit of background noise reduction, and that's it. And it sounds like people complimented the audio. They're like, oh, what'd you do with your mic? Like, you really changed your audio. It was like 10 videos, 12 videos ago when I made the change.
What are you using for your when you're recording your talking head? Because we don't see a microphone. Are you using that Samsung or something else?
Yeah. In the last video, you could see it. I'm wearing a black shirt, and then
Yeah.
like when I put my arm in front of it, you could actually see the mic that's sitting there.
I was gonna say, is it like above you, or
it's not up like this. It's like I'll have it like down low like this.
Right. This little Enter the Dragon dummy back 1 second kind of thing. It's like
Yeah.
It's a camo mic. It blends
Yeah.
in with the
It
background.
just
That
kind of
shirt-
blends in a little bit, but but it works great. And
Yeah.
I record with Audacity, and then I
Okay.
do a little bit of the
That's what I
editing
got
in
too.
Audacity. I mean, you really don't have to do a lot. Like to be
No.
completely honest, with my lav mics, I had to do a ton of different tweaks to get it to sound correctly. And then even just raw out of the Samsung sounded way better than anything I pulled out of my lav mics. No hating on the lav mics. But this sounded so much better,
So-
even in an untreated room. This is a completely untreated room.
with that
and it's-
shirt MV7 you have there, Jeff? Remind me. So you can go XLR out. You're currently going USB out. Can you also go 3.5 millimeter out?
No, it has a 3.5 millimeter in for monitoring, which I'm using right now.
monitoring,
But
okay.
yeah, it's XLR and USB only.
It sounds smooth, man. But you also got a smooth voice, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we
Sounds
do it,
good, man.
Calming, El Jefe.
Yeah.
chill.
That's it.
As
man.
opposed to me, an idiot. A loud idiot.
Stop it.
Hey, and
Agreed.
Also, quick shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got a lot of the friends in there. The DT,
Yeah.
we got Simon Says Hypno and Life of Tech, man. What's up, Roger? How you
Yeah.
doing, brother?
And Michael, I agree. Yes, if you're into this, Tampa paying the points. Yeah, health. Yeah. I don't know what the
Wait, there
line
a
is
game
now.
Today? Is there
Yeah.
a game today?
There is a game today, and if you are a betting man, I would take Tampa Bay in the points.
You know what I love? You know what I love about Super Bowl? So I don't pay attention to a lot of football in general, even CFL football up here. We have like 8 teams. But what I like about Super Bowl Sunday is this: is I can watch throughout the entire day, like all the specials, all the follow-up, all the stories, and I can get caught up to the point where the game kicks off, and I'm like, okay, I'm invested now, like someone who watched all season. Do you know what I mean?
I think- yeah,
like
I
I
think
know
that's the
all the
point,
side
they have,
stories
like,
and everything. So I
Super
really
Bowl
enjoy.
gets you like that.
Yeah, I really enjoy the full coverage like that. I've been watching some stuff all morning. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been good. And then the Cardinals had some good. We moved a couple players. We could pick up Nolan Arenado, so that's fucking awesome because we needed a third baseman because we had nothing. So I know nobody's a baseball person necessarily, but I'm wearing my Cardinals St. Louis Browns hat.
Like,
What? Nah, I don't care.
Hey, Derby County won this weekend, so that's fucking great.
Hey,
Yeah.
TK Bay.
no, we didn't. Shut
Hey,
up.
guys.
We lost
Holy
3-0.
cow! We got Jermaine and TK. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the big old party, Jermaine. How you guys doing?
I want to get this
How
out
you
of the way
doing?
right away. TK, I am trying to compete with your beard. I have been growing this longer.
Me too.
I've been
too.
combing
I'm
it. I've been
There's no
combing it.
competition.
I
You
bought
just
a
gotta.
special- I bought a
I can
special
see
comb.
Josh is catching up. Josh is catching up. Yeah.
I don't have far to go. I'm good.
I like it. Josh, keep it up, man.
It's between TK and what's his name, Bad Seed Tech, Brian Phillips, man. Between those two guys
Oh,
with the beards.
dude, Bad Seed has his beard is like that's amazing. That thing could have its own show.
It probably has its own show. Exactly.
Jermaine, how you doing? So I saw you got some snow there, and you were happy about that. Yeah,
Finally.
yeah.
Everyone there and
Finally.
Finally.
It can go
Yeah.
fuck itself.
Huge amount of snow. I was like, fucking, where's mine?
Yeah. Is it just because you like snow, or just because you felt like you were being like, you're FOMOing on the snow? Like, hey, everybody else is getting snow. Where the
I
fuck
felt
am I?
left out, you know, I felt left out. No,
Okay, that's fair.
It was basically I like snow, and I just don't like it.
Were you
We
running
could have
out
sent
making
you some.
snow
We
angels
could have
today?
sent you some.
Yeah.
Last week we could have
Jermaine,
definitely
I
sent
love-
you a
got a
bit.
lot now. I got a lot now.
Jermaine, I love
go to work tomorrow because you cannot drive properly. So
Jermaine, I love what you're bringing to the community, what you bring, and I love looking at all your concepts on YouTube and Twitter and things like that. So
thanks
thanks
man.
for doing what you do,
Appreciate
man.
the
Like
kind words,
awesome stuff. Like I've been watching your stuff for years. It's been great. So
Appreciate the kind words, man. Really do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, look, Across the podcast, bringing people together.
Exactly.
Right, because they didn't know who we were until that. No, but it was cool. I was excited that we did. Josh had his first chance to really talk to Chris, like actually like a proper meeting. It's just kind of cool. So
I'm kind of sitting on Josh's head at the moment.
See, Aditya posted in the comments, Sweary Josh and Chris is the Marvel crossover they're afraid of.
The Marvel crossover.
I need to
that they're
when
afraid
comes
of.
Out.
No spoilers, but have you guys watched the latest WandaVision? Have you
Oh
watched
my
it?
freaking god!
I've not seen any of
Yes.
them.
Oh,
Josh,
my
it's
God.
going the exact direction I thought it would be, and this is how they bring in those other people. To
No
the
spoilers.
Yes.
I've watched it, but no spoilers for anybody who hasn't.
I've not watched it at all yet.
Yeah.
I've
Get
not
on
managed
that.
to catch up.
I'm
Get on
watching
that.
it with my family, and my parents have seen all of the MCU. It's just they
Mm-hmm.
don't really remember it. So after every episode, I have to go back through Disney Plus and explain like this is why this is important. This is why this is important.
yeah, I have not seen that. Me and my wife are stuck on Turn, Washington Spies. I've never really. I know it's been out for a while. It's a fantastic. I mean, if you're into that Revolutionary War and kind of the history of it, it's kind of really fascinating. I kind of get into it. So
WandaVision is definitely going to be. I don't want to compare it to Game of Thrones, but you know how Game of Thrones was like a slow burn, like the first 6 or 7 episodes, and then those last 3 or last 2 episodes was just like boom. This is what WandaVision is going to be, and Marvel's
I
been
was
so brilliant
thinking
about it.
that.
Yeah,
Because I heard bad things about the first few episodes. I kept seeing
It was a
But I
slow
think it's
startup.
more of a-
Definitely.
I have a
back in
bone to
time.
pick with those people who say the first few episodes like didn't, because the first few episodes was literally Marvel catching up to the fact that they've never made a sitcom. And if you even grew like, I feel like a lot of people who hate the first few episodes were like
Oh, it wasn't hate. It wasn't hate. It was confusion. It was just the
right.
Yeah.
It was like what is it? What is it going to be? What direction they're going to go? And then
But even then, like if you're at all a fan of just like classic TV, you're seeing that progression.
oh, no,
And it's
absolutely.
really cool.
Yeah,
I hated
You
the
see it
first
by the
few
minute.
episodes, man. I hated it.
right.
I
don't
need
think
to
anybody-
watch it. I definitely need
had
to watch
to.
it. I've only just finished The Mandalorian. I'm not going to lie.
I never watched
I
that.
haven't even got that far.
I'm a
I
bit
haven't
behind.
watched a single episode of that.
Oh,
It's
neither
so
have I.
good.
Yeah.
I'm
Mandalorian's-
not so much
Mandalorian's so good.
into
yeah.
Star Wars.
Hey, Jermaine, I'm sorry. I had to let Roger in. So he's
Oh, the fish and chips.
I have arrived.
The Jermaine's arch
so Roger
nemesis.
has a new.
Yeah. You see, look how them two ended up next to each other when they hate each other so much about fish
That's
and chips.
disgraceful.
Oh,
You've done
it's
this on purpose, Matt. I can tell. You know.
right. Because if you've been watching this show for a long time, you understand that everything is planned and totally like lined out and
I
really.
need to be.
we
You need
control
to move.
everything.
Sam, you need to
Well,
put that
no.
top there somewhere.
Actually, Sam, you can actually reorganize everybody in the stream. Whoever's the host,
Wow, there you
can
go.
reorganize.
Drag people around. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Hey,
I
why
like
am
it.
I didn't even need like instructions. I just clicked on stuff because that's how we do it, right?
Hey,
staying on top, man?
hey, Roger, let me give you some of this. This is my drink sponsor. I'll just hand it
Ooh,
over here.
nice.
Right.
I've actually got something here as well myself. So.
You congratulations on that. Honestly, congratulations. It seems like a good company. They get good stuff in there.
Definitely.
Like
Definitely.
Thank
with
you.
what I have. But I also really like how they made that thing that mixes it for you, which
It's
is cool.
quite cool.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
quite cool. Yeah, it's like a. I mean, some people might see it as a gimmick, you know, but I think it's quite cool. I could play with that for a long time. It's good.
Sweet.
It's good.
Drink sponsor, Bang Energy. Is everyone?
We
rocking
need a
Bang?
drink
Oh,
sponsor.
no.
I feel like we've got a drink sponsor. He's down at the bottom.
Yeah, it's
underneath.
Chris. He's our drinking. It's Leffe. Right now, our sponsor is Leffe.
Hey.
That's our
Any
sponsor.
motherfucking beer or whiskey companies want to sponsor me, I'm up for that shit. You will see that shit in every video. I will be down in it.
They wouldn't dare sponsor you.
They need to, because I mean,
We
that's you
don't
need to
have
get.
enough stock. We can't sponsor Chris.
He's literally wiped out our entire Brexit supply. That's it.
Right. Oh God Almighty, this is awesome. So, like I said, Chris, I saw that you had a phone
No,
that you're not supposed to have, and then it's coming out. Is it tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? Is that the launch for the global? Is it tomorrow?
I have no idea what you're referring to, sir.
Sorry, the
Good
audio's
deal.
popping up, mate.
Don't break
That's
NDA. Don't break NDA.
No, it's okay. So, like I said, it's
Even on this show,
it
you
is-
can break NDA.
Hey, look, a fire.
That's a
Let me
pretty
play
nice,
with it.
Yeah.
Pretty nice design, doesn't it?
yeah. So, what is Jermaine drinking? What do you got? You got some alcoholic beverages? Just tea.
No, just coffee.
No, it's okay.
Oh, see,
I'm the
I've just got
alcoholic
summer
here.
fruits. I've just got
Basic.
juice. I
Fuck's
feel
sake,
cordial.
man, come on, man. Yeah, we
So
need to have
basic.
Brits banding together here, man. You need to have something, even if it's just a G&T.
Well, I had the
I keep
Strongbow
saying-
dog fruits, but I forgot to put it in the fridge, and it's not nice warm. So
Oh, come on, we're British. We drink booze warm. That's fine. We're
Yeah,
not-
I keep saying to Jermaine doesn't really
maybe
Shout out to
maybe down
Wine.
south. Yeah,
To be
We have
fair,
a bit
I'm
of class
the
in the
only
Midlands,
person
do you know what I mean?
I don't have to fill in any group with drinking and whatnot, so I'm good.
Yeah. So the question is, did everybody see that Reddit about like Mega messing with the tech people? What's that
Man.
about? Because I've already heard about it, but I don't know what is that. What is that? Is that like just people actually really goofing or really like throwing shade? I mean, what is that?
I feel like that whole thing got blown up more than what it was, but
Okay.
I am completely guilty of taking it way too seriously the day it came out. And I'm done. Now I just kind of laugh at it. I'm just like, that's one corner of the internet where people are angry and they're still living in their mom's basements, and I'll keep on moving. I'll keep my moves here. But there are some truths. There are some
Part of the
truths.
reason why that thread blew up was because a lot of us in our I guess the term now is tech bubble. A lot of us were reacting to it, like
True,
in
yeah.
content. So of course it's going to get some play because of that. But what I find so funny about it is those people, and some of the criticisms are valid. I'm not going to
I
lie.
agree.
Like I'll take that criticism,
Yeah.
But even then, these are people who are clowning on us for having a bubble when they're literally screaming in the Reddit bubble. Like that whole thread is a bubble. Like you're preaching to your own choir. So who are you trying to reach with that? And we could be.
There were a lot of truths in there, though. There really was,
Fair,
and things
fair.
that we're all guilty of. Like I can't remember how many. I think I own about 5 or 6 tech plants, and now I'm like, why do I buy these? I never use them anymore.
Look forward to. I think I showed TK. I showed him a picture of a new set. Let's just put it this way: like I'm making no bones about it. Let me just speak on behalf of at least some creators that I know. This is our work, okay? And if our work is not easily consistent, then we don't have work. So if our work has to look a certain way to be easily consistent, that's survival, my friends.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So if for the next 3 months I look like Dave 2D, deal with it. Like just deal with it.
I would like to look like Dave 2D.
Watch
I was
the
going to
comments.
say, I don't mind. I'd love to.
Yeah, it's,
But you know
What
the
is
funny thing
Dave
about,
doing on
there's
Dust?
worse people to look for.
you know what's interesting about this, though?
you look like Chris.
Here's the other side of the here's the other side of all that really kind of got to me, and that it kind of got in my head for a little bit, Josh. Is that okay? So everybody's the same. Everybody uses tech plant. But the thing is, as soon as you go outside that bubble, for example, and you try to do something different in our space, sometimes it's a lot harder path up. It seems like sometimes. And I'll give you an example. Like there is a way of doing thumbnails, like the top down things and things in the corner, like the multiple color. Like I guess the people I'll associate to would be like how Marquez does thumbnails, how Canoopsy does thumbnails, how Everyday Dad does thumbnails, as an example. They're all very similar, okay? They're all very similar. That top down, this and that, right? And that works. It works. It gets the click for those guys, right? But if you go outside of that and say try to do something different, it seems like the road up in order to gain that audience can be a little bit harder. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
They're-
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And like it's usually it's what I would say. This is a line I take from Sarah Dici all the time. It's one for you, one for me. So if
Yeah.
you're going to make a video for the algorithm so that you can get those clicks, and then you get a video that you want to do that's more in line with what you want, like as far as a creator goes, like it's perfectly fine. You got to balance. It's a balancing act. I just find it really funny. Like I said, I'm not clowning on anybody who was in that thread. I just find it funny that the echo chamber is screaming at another echo chamber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
it's ironic for sure.
Yeah.
Why are we worried about it anyway?
Oh no,
No,
I'm definitely not.
No, I don't think you are. I heard about it, and I wanted to ask people who actually, this
I agree with
critique
Frank.
would be in their space. I'm just curious how they handle it because I'd only heard about it, like on the real. I didn't actually read the subreddit. I didn't like read any of it. I was just curious, like, because a lot of people seem like they kind of took it and kind of like it was kind of like a punch in the mouth for a lot of people, and I'm just. I want to just unpack like the feelings about it because some people just reacted differently to that content.
Well, do you think that content gets a weird like focus? Because let's put it this way: if we're gonna like today's a sports day, happy sports day, everybody. Like, but if you want to be a better football player, you see a football player that you like or that you think is good, you start to play like that football player. why are creators being put on some sort of pedestal where we shouldn't be acting that way as well?
Yeah. Yeah, we're being judged.
Literally,
for it,
when I started
so.
my career, my bosses at the time wanted me to be the next Marquez Brownlee, which is impossible. I'm too short. But like,
and his ultimate frisbee game is like on fire, and I got nothing, man. I can't do that.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you emulate what you look up to. And I wonder why, if we have all of these small creators, because if anything, that conversation is actually attacking small creators,
Right.
which I think sucks, because those are the ones who should look up to. I'll just put out on a limb here, everyone in this chat, everyone in this podcast right now. If they were
Except
to try to
me
be
and
like
Sam.
us,
And possibly me.
No, Chris is like, wait, with your 500,000 practically followers, you have had a pretty good 2020 for not for a guy that's trying to act like he's an amateur or like low scale. You're not exactly low scale anymore, Chris. There, I think you're doing proper good stuff. That's why you've gotten the channel. So I mean, what was
He's not
your
small time? He's not a small fry like the rest of us.
no? So like when did you read that, Chris? Did you
We're
see
tiny
anything of, like?
fry.
Like, what did you read about that, or any? What's your? Did you, or is it like I didn't care?
I mean, I can't remember. The last 2-3 years has just been an alcoholic is, to be honest. So it's kind of wake up and it's like, oh shit, okay, I'm a YouTuber. I should probably do a fucking video then. and I'll just drink some more.
Yeah, but I mean, your channel does. I mean, you definitely hit a lot of those content creation as far as low like budget phones, things that a lot of people maybe don't talk about. So everybody's got to you have to have your differentiation between that segment. But at the end of the day, you still have to have the things that make a channel successful. And right now, it's still algorithm, it's still clicks, it's still engagement.
Yeah.
You still got like Josh said, you have to kind of find the way to kind of move in between that and work all angles, basically be as successful as possible.
Work in all angles is exactly it. You've got to suck that Google cock, but you've also got to try and differentiate yourself.
Yeah, there you go. In case you didn't know what was going on, it's all about swallowing the Google cock. So there you go.
YouTube 101, yeah. Swallow the cock, but also be a little bit different. Be a little bit experimental.
This is why we bring Chris. This is why we bring Chris. You see?
Yeah. I just hang around here. Like, I literally haven't left since the last time you had me on. I just hang around in this fucking chat room.
He's been in here this whole time.
Yeah,
you can already see the nice big red E and square right next to the title of this.
All right, changing gears. Andrew, our buddy Fat Pros, is asking, what's the go-to tech now that COVID has been a thing for a year? So I know for one thing, as I found out my work actually provides webcams. I didn't know that. I talked to one of my bosses are like, oh yeah, if you wanted a webcam, you just call it to desktop services, they'll hook you up. I was like, well, you're gonna tell anybody about that, or we're just gonna guess? And they're like, oh, I thought you knew. It's like, clearly I didn't. So I mean, what kind of things have we? What's the go-to tech right now in 2020-ish and 2021? What's the go-to stuff right now?
Standing desks.
Yeah,
I just want one.
I'm on one right now.
Chairs.
He said sitting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I miss mine. It's at my it's at my office. Yeah, I do miss that. I mean, you can still stand up and kind of make things work, but yeah, my Veridesk, I do miss that. It's one of the things I really enjoyed using, and when I had it installed, it's been it was awesome. Just not having to get up so much, just stand up for like an hour or so, just to kind of move around. I do miss it. I wish we could have brought them home, but
no, that was one of the things when I got hired at vidIQ, and they were like, hey, so what do you need? Like, do you need a laptop? And I'm like, not at the moment. And they were like, okay, well, what about your homework situation? Because you're coming from an actual, like, in real life, going to job sites job. What do you need for your home office? And I was like, I guess a desk and a chair. And they're like, oh yeah, just find something and let us know what you want. So I found the Veridesk, with the butcher block thing, and I'm like, this thing is mad expensive. I don't know if they're gonna say yes. And then I found this like steel case ergonomic chair. It's like $1,300. I'm like, let's see what happens, right? So I kicked them both, and they were like, all right, cool. We'll let you know when they're shipping. I'm like,
Did you get the steel case gesture? Is that what you got?
yeah, the gesture, yeah.
That's what my office. My wife took it for me. Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice.
Your wife took it. Oh, it's honey. I'm reallocating this to my.
This is the studio, and then the room over is like my actual professional office, which I haven't been into 2 years since I left my corporate job. I've been here, so now that she's working from home. But anyway, yeah, Jeff, that's a super. They're pricey,
super supportive. Like
but
we have
so nice.
like I know we have M1 Max coming at some point. So that's going to be pretty dope. But it's one of those things where it's like a super supportive company. So I'm like, I'm legit working a dream job now. So I can't complain at all, dude.
No, that's great of them to do that.
Flexing.
Huh?
Well, everybody's flexing. Except Spurt, he's just drinking. That's close enough. He's flexing his left.
Honestly,
We
that's a
can't
flex.
flex. What
That
have
is
we
a
got to
flex
flex
in
about?
itself. Leffe
I was
is
going to
have
flex
enough
fish and
stuff.
chips. I was going to flex fish and chips, but I
No,
haven't
we
got
can
it.
flex.
Oh, you knew it was coming. It took
I
took
was gonna
3
try
minutes.
and get
He's,
some.
We can
There's
flex,
still time. Let me try and order some. There's still time. Hold on.
oh,
Yeah, no, what? Send it over to him now. We'll just ship it to you. Don't
No, I'm
mind the
not going
customs
to.
charge.
No, don't send it to him. No, don't send it to him. I want to eat it in front of him and make him watch.
You can Uber eat some fish and chips, right?
No.
Like we're supposed to do leftovers tonight, but now I want to order some fish and chips.
dude.
What's the name of the delivery service in the UK? I know Uber Eats is one, but
Deliveroo.
Deliveroo. That's the one.
Deliveroo.
That was
Deliveroo.
Every time
Just
I go to
eat
the
Uber.
UK, I see them zipping by me. I'm like, what?
Yeah, we got
Deliveroo.
loads.
That's a
Deliveroo.
great name, Deliveroo.
Yeah,
I
well,
like
see,
that.
we are so lazy. We have multiple delivery services.
Yeah, same.
For
Yeah, we got
small
what
country.
Postmates, Grubhub, right?
For-
You know,
no,
Postmates. You know,
We
Uber
are
Eats.
the size of Florida. Like, you know, we are a very
Don't
small
compare
country
it.
for
Don't
saying we
compare
have
yourself to
a
Florida.
lot.
Don't-
Yeah.
Of,
Let's say like North Carolina. Let's just say North and South Carolina. Let's just make it. Yeah,
I feel like
Florida's-
we need more UK creators in this chat.
Well, I'm in Canada. We're practically the same.
Do you know the
That's
sad
cool.
thing? The sad
I'm the
thing
only
is
one from
nobody
Ireland.
delivers to me.
Production.
Nobody.
Where do you
That's
live?
sad.
Like in the
I'm
cliffs
in-
of Dover or
you
something?
know, no, you know where I am. I'm in the middle of the forest, aren't I? So nobody. Do you remember Sam?
Oh,
I'm
yeah, that's
sat
right.
in my shed. You remember?
It's
And,
not a shed. It's a purpose-built studio. That's
Well,
freaking awesome.
Yeah, it sort of is.
Is that the Pallets studio?
Yeah.
you're in? You're still in?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was wild, man. That was cool. To
That
watch.
thing's
yeah.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am very proud of what I've managed to create with my hands because I am useless with DIY. Trust me. See some of the stuff I've done before. Trust me, it's not good. But this is amazing now. It's really, really good. It's got me out of the house. The wife doesn't hate me as much. The kids
Fair.
are happier. No, honestly, it's time
Slightly
this
less
year
hate.
to. Yeah, just slightly.
Now, do you have a light outside the door that says that
There
you're
is.
live?
No, I've got a light that lights up outside, and of course I've
Okay.
got a sign that says. I do have a sign that says on air, but I haven't done anything with that. Yeah, I have. I have it. I have it.
Oh, it's funny because I just finished this office. I told my wife today, but right before I came on, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna get one of those on-air signs," and she goes, "No, you're not.
I
you
ordered mine
think
yesterday.
you are, motherfucker, but you ain't."
I
Nice
ordered
try.
mine yesterday. It's gonna hang from the ceiling right above right above Street Fighter. I ordered it yesterday.
Oh, it's gonna be so nice. Yeah. She's like, she goes, first of all, I know you think you're big badass because you like having a podcast and stuff like that, but nobody's listening to your bullshit. All 45 people. I say, hey, today you're gonna see
Listen,
the realness. And she don't
she's
care.
just said in the chat that you're only happy now because you've got people to talk to.
She's giving you shit in your own podcast chat.
Well, of course. Well, like I told you before, I don't know if who here have their better halves are with them a lot, but we'll be out in public, and we'll just rip on each other like constantly. And people are like, "Are you guys cool?" Or like, "Cool like how?" They're like,
Yeah.
"Are you guys like fighting?" Or like, "No, we just like." She's my worst critic. She's like, "You're a complete idiot. What are you doing?"
See, like Divoon
It's
sent me
enjoyable
this
to watch.
thing. Divoon sent me
Ooh.
this thing, and I thought about hanging this thing up. This is that Pixel Max.
Nice.
So
Yep,
at first when they
yep.
emailed me, they're like, "Can you show this off like whenever you can?" And I'm like, "It's kind of lame." And then I looked
Oh,
at the
I thought-
other videos, and I'm like, "This is cool. You can add all sorts of pictures and everything." Like right now, it's just doing the voice thing. So maybe
That's
I'll hang this
cool.
up. I mean, this is
Do you know that is really cool? And something I've wanted for such a long time is that LaMetric thing. You know, the thing that
it's
I
shows
have
you.
mine up here.
expensive
It's
still.
expensive.
I know
have it.
that's the
Yeah.
whole issue. Otherwise, because I love the look of that thing. It's very cool. But
Can we get in
the
trouble for
price
showing
is
off?
just
Okay.
Ooh,
So
I
now,
like it.
now you got that. It looked like Winamp earlier. I thought it was
Winamp was the shit back in the day.
That was
Yeah.
the shit.
Yeah.
The only problem with that LaMetric is that the
whips the
YouTube
llama's
API
ass.
kind of borked it. It borked the subscriber count on it because now YouTube API how they started rounding up to stop
Yeah,
those
yeah, of
live
course.
subscriber
Yeah, so
counts.
dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they totally
So
borked
it's not
it, but
quite as That's a
yeah,
shame.
yeah, it still works though because I know people are still using it. But it was just one of those things when once they changed that API, I was like, oh, you bastards.
Why don't you
Yeah.
round up to
Yeah.
the next 100,000, huh? Why don't you just
Basically.
round up-
That's it. That's it. For me, it's just gonna show
100,000.
0 until I hit 100K. Basically.
Yeah. So like I said, I got that color set up and we painted it last night, so it's okay. That's why it's the orange. I haven't figured out. I can't like Roger's got like lights and his plants and his palettes.
I've got
and I'm
loads
like,
of plants everywhere. I love plants. I can't help. My wife, she's taken one away today. I've got this huge one in the
Plants.
corner. Yeah.
One looks a little The one in the back corner looks kind of sus back there. It's like,
What he's not
sure
saying
that-
is he's married
is that a
to Poison
Hydro girl?
Ivy.
It's
That's what
looking a
he's
little
not
stiff.
saying. Is your wife Poison Ivy, sir? Or are you just not telling us?
No one
yeah.
can beat
What
my
was the-
flowery wallpaper anyway, so it's fine.
No.
What was the question again? Weren't we trying to answer a question just now?
Like,
going
look,
on?
it's
Where
pixeled
am I?
me.
Wow.
So you can put
That's a
any
good
picture.
look.
Yeah, you can put any picture in here, and it's pretty.
Why is your beard like super gray? In
Okay,
that?
it's not a TK beard. Calm down. It's getting there.
No, okay. No. We can only hope. One day,
One day.
maybe one day when you grow up, you can have a TK beard too.
We're growing.
I love it.
TK, how long?
TK just patiently watching this shit show right now. Just
I'm enjoying the show. It's just, it goes around me. Like I keep going circles. I like it.
TK, how long did that beard take to grow in?
To the length that it is right now, about 7 months.
Like
Because it's actually not entirely. It's not an entire beard. It's literally just a goatee. But then I tailor all around it, and for this length, this long down,
Yeah.
I trim it and keep trying to.
This is like 20 years right here.
TK,
Yeah.
do you take out the hairs underneath and it's just the front part there? Like if you were to lift
Yeah.
it up?
Oh.
You take out that full stuff.
No.
Sheet that way. Okay, so I'm gonna go see my barber tomorrow, and I'm gonna be
Because
like, hey,
because
see
it's
this guy
the,
here?
because it's the goatee. It
Yeah.
when you're doing it straight, it covers the back. So it really, unless you're looking at me from the side, it's hard to tell. Because otherwise, it gets very warm. Can you imagine
Yeah.
how warm it can get?
With a couple times I've clean shaved, like during the pandemic and everything, I've been like, I'm really cold. My chin. I told my chin.
Yeah, you can feel it, right? When you shave, you're like, woo, it's weird. It's like you go outside, you're like, whoa. Yeah, it's
Weather
like in
system
TK.
changes.
And in TK, people look from the side. TK is like this. Don't look at from the side. I have an image.
Only from the front. Always from the front.
Yeah, you get it, no matter what. He's like, no, don't look at me. I got this thing going on. That's
But it does. Mine does fill up. It fills up on the side, so it's a little bit hard. So you can see it as if almost goes to the back, but in reality, it's
It's just
the way I
stuff. Hey? Okay.
yeah.
yeah. It's a, that's
So
a sharp
most
look.
people actually have one, apart from yeah, most people have one. So the thing is, I've tried to grow a beard before, and I get like about 3 weeks in. Oh no, I have. I've tried.
I just so when Roger talks, I'm just like I can listen to him for hours.
Let the man speak. Let the man.
Go ahead, Roger. Go ahead.
Thank you. No, but I've tried. Trust me, I really have tried, and I get about 3 or 4 weeks in.
and you can't get over the scratching and the itch that it
Oh, the
creates.
I can't, and I have to shave it.
No, so
know, so-
the tip for that one is you just need to get some beard oil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beard oil.
Yeah.
Massage some
really?
beard oil
That's all
into
you
it.
need. Really?
It
That's
get-
all
it
you
Yeah.
need.
Well, Josh, you need hair. You actually need hair before you get the beard oil.
I don't think
Okay,
you
here's
that well,
two.
Joshua.
3 tips to growing a beard. 1, it's going to come down to genetics. 2, beard oil.
Yeah.
3, get yourself a good skin, like a scrub, something that you can put into your hairs at night, and then it gets everything out of there, and it allows the hairs to grow and everything. When I started using a scrub, that's when things started coming in. That
when it
was
got
a
real.
that was a big.
It also
difference there.
changes as you get older, which is weird. Like when I was younger, it would never fill up. It would always have patches, and then after somewhere around my mid 30s, it just literally filled up, and now we're just consistent.
When I hit
got
35, I'm
permanent
just like,
baby
where'd all
face,
this
man.
come? I did,
Yeah, I'm like,
puberty
Exactly.
2.0, right?
L'Oreal makes beard oil. Get you some of that. Yeah, that works. Yeah, it's.
I
But
know
yeah,
I'm
like,
genetically not
Never even heard of this.
predispositioned for this because like one time I let it go and the hair literally curled back into my neck.
The one hair.
just curled and went boop, right back to the bottom. That's fine.
No, I can't. I'm actually not allowed to shave. Like, if I can remove the beard, but I can't remove the mustache. My wife will legit punch me in the eye
Well, that's
Wow.
my wife will do the same thing too. I threatened to. Yeah, she's like, no.
because it's happened before where I was doing a trim and I slipped up and cut a section of my mustache. I was like, damn, now I got to shave the whole thing. Shave the whole thing. She saw me and was like, bam. So it was like, yeah, it's one of those things where if without the mustache, I look really creepy. So
Which is weird because if I tried to like just cut this one time and just had like the mustache, and I looked at my wife, I said, "Huh?" She goes, "Not in a million years. You should shave that stupid thing off. You look ridiculous." I said, "Okay."
70s.
So it's either the goatee.
True, man.
Yeah, I had so it's either this or just like the rocking the full beard. So, but yeah, I tried just a mustache, and I was like, "Hey, sweetheart, what do you think?" And she looked at me in the shower. She went,
Unless you got 70s
No.
porno music playing behind you, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, she's like, that's terrible. She goes, do you look at the
Smash
mirror?
the
Just,
heart.
you like that? And I go, not particularly. She's like, yeah, it's terrible. Shave it or grow it all out. Just, no, you ain't doing that. So she definitely told me it didn't look good. So that's the opposite. And Chris, what's your beard? Have you ever tried to just let it grow and just let it rock and just rock a beard, or what's the deal?
Occasionally, I forget to shave. For a few days. That's about as long as it
He
gets. I
likes
guess.
to grow.
It's really
it
not the
because-
question's answer, right? It's like, I just don't shave. Are you trying to not shave?
You know, you stay in bed a few days, and then you get out. and
He's
you're like,
starting
"Oh,
to get a bit short on top, so he has to let the beard grow out.
Exactly. It's nice to have some hair to sort of stroke occasionally. Yeah, like the old beer straw.
And Jermaine's always got this nice kind of like, it's not a beard, but it's
I
not.
forget as well. Honestly, that's the reason. I just
Now, is
forget.
it more because we've been all like, is it more because of the like issue going on, or is it just like normally you just were like, just let it go for a couple days and then?
No, I just forget. I just
Okay.
forget as well. It's,
We've all got to admit
Yeah.
that not one of us here, bar TK, could put his beard on a hat and merch and get away with it.
I made
He's
the
the
whole
only
channel
person
around the
that could
work.
do that and
So
get
you
away
guys
with
were
it.
talking about, can you take it off? Can you shave it? I mean, if I take this off, I lose the branding of my channel. The whole channel's
Right.
around.
You're stuck now. You've like walked yourself into that. You're there.
Yeah,
now.
it's
So
not-
you're-
you're gonna
I'm
have to take
doubling
this
down.
and then I'll just colour this bit in.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. What would actually happen, TK, if somehow that beard
How?
did come off? What would you have to glue it back on or something? I mean, that's a
Glue it. Look at you, hey. It's like,
That's what my philosophy. I'm planning on if I do remove it, I'll make sure to take it off in specific sections and then make it into a toupee. And every time I put on a show, I have to put it on,
Fair
record the
enough.
show,
Fair enough.
and take it
Good
off.
idea.
If TK goes MIA for about 2 months, we know what's happened.
It's seriously true, no.
Okay, so let's move on. Here's a tech question for everybody. I guess we'll start with Sam. Sorry, Sam, I'm taking over the hosting here.
sure. No.
What's everybody rocking right now for their phone? Like, what do you have? Like, if you're rocking both, like, what is it? Like, what do you?
Hey, still the
This is
fucking.
how, this is how
He's
you
not
never
coming
gonna
off
get
it.
rid of it.
This is
Nope.
how you know we have a room full of podcasters. Is
Holy
when
shit.
any one of
Yeah.
us who don't run the show start running the show.
The Surface Duo, man. I mean, it's and you know, all the foils aside, all the failures, all the glitches, all the weirdness. You know, it's been the best device for me to use. I mean, I like using it, and also, and here's the thing, and you can call this silly because it is. I get more comments about that device when I'm out and about from like everybody. Like I'm at a restaurant and I had to scan because the restaurant I was at, we had masks on and social distancing, but they had the menus on a QR code, so I had to scan that. So I took my phone out, I scanned the QR code, and I'm looking at the menu and I split it between two screens just to kind of see it. And the guy's looking at me, and like I'm not paying attention to the waiter, but I'm looking at him. I'm like, why are you eye fucking me, dude? and he's looking at the phone. He's not looking at me. I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, I have never seen that before. What is that? And I said, it's a Surface Duo. He's like, that's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, that's a thing? I went, uh-huh. No, it's not a thing. I'm from the future. I'm from 3050, and I just made this in my. Yeah, it's a thing. Just go look it up. Surface Duo.
3050 and somehow Microsoft still exists.
Right. Still canceling projects and shit, even in 30 years, right? But yeah, I mean, by far, it's not perfect. Like I said, I mean, I have issues with it, but as far as like using it, I've had no problems with it. You know, Gen 0 aside. So that's the phone I still rock daily. Every time I try to switch to my Mate 30, I miss
Really?
it. I go back to it. It's just crazy.
So
Did you get the latest update for it?
Not yet. I'm on
was gonna be my
AT&T, so
question.
it's still it hasn't come yet. I know that I know the new one for February is out, but I haven't gotten it. It's about, but usually it's about on the 5th, but it's a little delayed. So probably tomorrow or the next day, probably. So that's
Roger,
my rock.
Roger, what are you using?
I'm using. I'm quite sad really because I'm still on the 11 Pro Max, but that's what I've got at the
That's
moment.
what camera number. That's camera number 2.
There you go.
So have you? But Zach, have you not got the 12?
I've got no. I didn't. I never got the 12, and the reason I didn't go
Okay.
with the 12 is because, like, as much as I want to for reviewing everything like that, I'm changing up my content so it's more in line with like the mid-value budget, whatever you want to call it, right? And so that's why I picked up. Where is it for example, the S21,
Nice.
rather than the Ultra, right? Because they reduced it by 200 and made these different cuts and everything like that. And for example, when I look at my content from last year, a lot of the mid-range stuff got more of the attention than the high-range stuff, at least on my channel. Right. But going back to the 12, the reason I go with the 12 is because other than the form factor change, like the new way it looks and everything, I mean, which is really cool. I could, for myself personally, for what I'm doing, I would not be able to take proper advantage of some of the newer software stuff, like the HDR stuff. As cool as it is for what I'm doing right now, I don't think I can take proper.
Chris died. Chris just died.
So for that reason, I didn't grab the 12. So I'm still on the 11 Pro Max, but I'll probably get whatever it is this year. I think they're going to call it 12S. They're not going to call it 13. So, but you're
That's
still
fair
on.
enough.
But there's nothing. But honestly, if you look at from a spec thing, like a spec sheet point between the 11 and 12, there's not a whole lot of difference. In fact, battery power, based on what I've seen, is actually better on the 11s than it is on the 12s, based on what I've seen so far. I'm still getting 2.5 days out of mine. It's crazy, right? So
that's very good. That's very good. I think I must admit that up until this point, a lot of people have been asking me, Roger, what on earth have you been doing on your channel? What content have you been making? This is like Abcon Course sponsored. What are you doing? And I said, well, here's the truth. I could not afford to build this room that I'm sat in at the moment. I did not have the money to do this. And they come along, a PR agency. They said, look, we want to send you all these products. You need to make all these videos and spend millions of hours of your life working on this stuff that nobody's ever heard of before. And once you've done that, we'll pay you. And I said, fine. Let me make it clear to everybody this is sponsored content. I know it's not the most interesting stuff, and it hasn't been the most interesting stuff to make. But I've got another 1 or 2 videos left to post on the channel. And finally, I can now work in here and get cracking on some content. And I'm going to actually start, I think, with budget to mid-range smartphones. I think that's where I'd like to try and go, but I definitely, don't get me wrong, I haven't got the cash to start buying flagship stuff and this, that, and the other, but maybe budget range, maybe mid-range would be cool. That's the kind of stuff that
it was worth it.
Yeah.
I
think it was.
The reason I've had this resurgence of, like, because my content's been up and down, is because the rise, like I did a stream about this in a couple of different clips, the rise of the mid-range. And I know mid-ranges have always been there, but more than ever in 2020, I felt like mid-range phones really blurred the lines between them and the quote-unquote flagship. So for example, like the TCL 10L and the 10 Pro, the Pixel 4a is a complete steal if you're into photos and everything like that. Honestly, like, why would, I mean, right? I mean, yes, there are advantages, obviously, to going with an Ultra or the 12 Pro or whatever, right? Obviously, there is. But when you really break it down, what do you need? What is important for you? Save yourself $500, whatever, right? Yeah. And that's what gets me excited, because, and like, especially seeing some of the things that were announced at CES from TCL and a couple other companies. I just love how that line is beginning to blur, and I'm seeing that with the comments and the feedback and people that are reacting to my content. They're more interested in it. I'm more interested in it, and it gets me excited. Maybe that's not for some people, but for me, it is. Right?
No, there's definitely a massive approach or surgence of mid-rangers, but it's also because of what Qualcomm did last year with the 765.
Yes.
We started to see more power and more efficiencies and flagship features come out to the mid-range, and that's why I'm really excited to see what comes out this year for the 7 series. We haven't heard anything about the 7s. We've seen many processors go on the flagship and slightly up there with the 870, and then we went down to the 490, but then the 7 series haven't heard anything. I'm waiting for that.
It's really confusing now. It's honestly
it is very confusing.
They took a playbook from Sony's book. Let's make the confusing nomenclature. Let's just make it crazy, right? And they're like,
Jeff,
what's Jeff got?
Yeah, what's Jeff using?
Well, right now, I mean, I just took delivery on the S21 Plus, so I've been using that the past few days. But I'm team both. Like, for people that know, for the most part, it's always iPhone and a Pixel. Or if I'm testing like LG or testing the TCL phone or the Pixel phone. But right now, I went ahead and picked up the S21 Plus. I didn't want the Ultra, and I also didn't want the regular S21. So that was the best choice for me. But yeah, just team both. So
Team both. What in the world is happening?
I have no clue what's happening. Well, first of all, he dropped his phone a minute ago, so I thought he died, right? And then now we've got this.
I just hope that is Chris moving that doll, and
it's a head. Oh, it's the doll.
See, this the doll that he uses for his video photo.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Your replacement. It's his replacement.
Right. It looks good. It's a good look.
Matt, what are you using?
Mine's nothing exciting, but I'm just using the Xiaomi Mi 10T Lite at the minute.
And that's what you're on right now, right?
Yeah.
That's the phone that's doing this whole stream.
Yeah, it looks good.
The headphone, great, man. Yeah. Using the headphone jack, front-facing camera. That's it.
That's
literally. And, well, yeah, that's the main thing. But I think my main thing this year is I'm going to take a lot more time for Xiaomi phones.
Yeah.
Because I missed
wanna
a lot of them last year, but this
I wanna-
and I
oh.
regret it.
I want to get my hands on those. Any of you guys know a Xiaomi contact? Let me know. Okay, I'd love to get my hands on some of them. So,
Yeah.
so let me know.
Xiaomi, yeah.
If I knew a Xiaomi
Xiaomi,
contact, I wouldn't be using the 10 Lite.
Yeah, I heard that. I keep getting
Josh,
the
what
low
do you
Oh, no,
reckon?
to be fair, that's complete
I was
lie
about to
because
say,
this
don't everyone
phone
look
is
in my direction right now.
100%.
No, we're looking right at you. Right at you, Josh.
I gotta aim like this. Like
Sam, move
Wait, I'm not-
Josh to
other
the middle.
Josh, what are you rocking right now? What do you use? What are your phone or phones?
Well,
Right
the
there.
one that I keep coming back to, and it's literally like, okay, I think there's, when it comes to my endorsements of a phone, it has to be the one that I would literally buy myself. And the one that I bought myself at the end of 2020 was this bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Seven.
the Triple Six. Oh,
Literally
seven.
my favorite phone right
That's
now.
the seven,
Ah,
yeah.
man.
Love
that's
that.
the phone
So
that
cool.
got away.
It's not
What do you
even
have on the
That's
back
the
there?
one.
What's on the back there?
That's the one. That's
Oh,
the
I have the case that comes with it, but this is also a moft on the back because I like my anchors on phones
Very cool.
just to make life a little bit easier, especially
That is so nice. I love that phone. That is the one that got away from me. That is the one I never
it is
got
a
that I
fantastic
wanted
phone,
to
and
try.
it's like super underrated to have like a legitimately like uninterrupted screen experience. So that's really
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to try it was because obviously I use my phones for this. So having that, the rear-facing cameras be my main camera.
Yeah.
I will say
That
what's
makes
funny
sense.
about it is when you flip the camera, the processing goes selfie. So things are softer. Things are a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
it
odd how they
still
do that.
mimics they did that with the 6 as well. It's almost like the moment you turn it front facing, it's like they have a different algorithm. Like keep it this way for that. No, don't. Just keep it the same way as the back sensor. Turn it on.
My pro tip
I
is
thought
just
that.
go pro, go to the pro
Right.
mode, but leave everything auto. Just go
It's-
to the
that's
Yeah.
weird. But I did notice StreamYard does. I don't know. It doesn't use the phone's software. I have no idea because this looks completely different to how it looks in video mode when I'm shooting from the front camera.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
There's a
Did
bit of
you
a
change the
delay.
resolution to 720? Because by default it's
like-
360.
Yeah. You gotta change it.
Jermaine,
You
what
got
are
to
you
change
using?
the setting.
Actually,
Jermaine-
Oh, yeah, I
actually
know.
real quick, since I just helped answer
Yeah.
the question, I do actually have to get going. It's time to cook
Okay.
some tacos. So
nice.
Be good,
enjoy.
Josh.
Good night, Josh.
Happy
Good
Super
seeing
Bowl.
you, man.
Thanks for coming on, brother. Be
Yeah,
good.
Thanks for having me on, fellas. Have a good one.
Anytime, sir.
See you later.
Happy
man.
Sports Day.
Happy Sports Day.
Happy-
Sports Ball time.
Happy
Taco
Hand
Day.
Egg Day. Goodbye.
Jermaine doesn't use a phone. It's just an imaginary concept in his hand.
Hey, who invited these two? We need to split them up. They're back next to each other again.
Oh no! Please, please, Sam, move me. Hey,
There we go.
So Jermaine, when you're
I
grabbing
like
the phone,
it down here. It's better down here. Much better company.
Jermaine, what do you
Screw
have your
you,
sim
Matt.
in?
Screw
What
you.
do you have your sim in?
So right now my main sim is in the my own design Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. As we know, it's my design Samsung.
Right.
And
That's how it
I
goes.
have an NDA phone that I cannot show, of course.
Don't.
there, so-
Chris nearly did that. We don't want to do that twice
Right.
in one show.
But with the Ultra has like your main phone number, like that's your go-to, that's your personal.
Well, I just got it, so I'm testing it out, seeing how I like it. Honestly, it's a little bit underwhelming. To be fair,
Pretty much the
Yeah.
general
Exynos.
consensus.
it's
Not just an Exynos, even on the
It's
Snapdragon.
underwhelming.
I'm
mean-
not getting that fully.
It hasn't got the flagship vibe that you would
Okay,
expect.
so hold on.
Yeah.
So
Apparently, we have a lot of heating issues with the Exynos as usual.
I don't have heating issues.
I haven't got any heating issues. No, it's been absolutely fine
No?
for gaming.
So T-
Even
Yeah.
like the crazy
So T-
hardcore shit. It's been fun.
Because we've got
TK
the Mali GPU as well, haven't we? Not the Adreno. So
But
So
the thing
T-
is, it's the camera itself. It has some features that I really enjoy. Of course, it has to zoom, and the macro is actually really excellent. But other than that, it's just I don't feel
Yeah.
like my S10, for instance, does most of it pretty well as well. And it has the micro SD, it has the headphone jack, and I also got a charger when I bought this thing. So that's
Yeah.
what's one of those?
no, it's funny if a company makes fun of it, one company and does it twice, make the same error. Anyway,
Yeah.
Right.
it's a bit underwhelming, and I find it odd, according to Jerry everything. That part is plastic, which is the part that sticks out, so that damages really fast. I don't
what the
have
camera
that-
module is plastic?
Well, the part around the camera.
Oh,
So this part, basically.
really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
I'm gonna take a
Derek,
look at
I
didn't
think,
know that.
tried to do like a test on it, and he
Scratching.
said plastic. So I find that really odd to make.
I also
that
saw
part plastic.
the cameras inside the adhesive.
Jeff's like,
Is not very
what the
good.
hell?
I,
It's like,
I can't remember who it was, but I saw
Well,
a video. They dropped it, and the camera lens actually just came out the back.
Yeah, that's everything.
The
Apple Pro,
adhesive
yeah,
was
well,
just the
supposed to be a-
adhesive's just not very good.
So it's supposed to be aluminum rails all the way around, and they blended it in. They're saying they blended it in with a coating. Maybe it's a coating that's on there.
It's-
Is that
It could be. I don't know, but he said it's plastic. So I'm not gonna test it if you don't mind.
right. Let leave that to Zach.
This
Right on the
is
show,
what you-
Jermaine. Just take a.
This is why
bam.
you're here.
This
Do
is
it
my
now.
personal man. I signed for this. Like I'm all in with this. I went for my Note 10 Plus, which was completely awesome, an awesome device for the last year and 3 months or however long
Yeah.
I had it. Right to this, and like I'm all in on this. I didn't pick this up just to review and then return or sell later.
Do you
Like,
miss the pen?
Do I miss? Sometimes.
That's the question.
I would.
Here's the thing about the S Pen. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And there's been a,
Yep.
there's been a
Same
couple
reason you carry a condom in your wallet. Yeah.
What?
You'd rather have it and not
Yes.
need it than need it and not have it. It's the
that
same
is a
rules
good analogy.
apply.
Yes, very.
Yeah.
Very, but I mean, there's been a couple instances here and there where I wanted to like screen grab something and make it like a GIF or something like that. And now I have to use my finger to do that, and that's fine. But I got these big monster cat fingers, right? So, yeah, I miss it. Do I miss it to the point where I wish I went with the Note 20 Ultra? No, I like the Note 20 Ultra, but I like using the S20 FE more than anything else. But the only reason I went with the S21 Plus is because I got a heck of a deal on it. Has nothing to do. I was literally. I mean, Jeff knows about this. I actually talked about it. I was literally about to go down and pick up the S20 FE in red, that beautiful red, and then my carrier called up. My guy, his name's Rico. Rico called me up. He's like, "Dude, S21's going to come out soon. I have a heck of a deal for you. Do you still have that? Do you still have your note and that extra phone?" I said, "Yes." He's like, "This is what I can do for you. Triple your data, 43 gigabytes for staying at home, and then also reduce my bill by $20 to go with the 21." So I had to say yes to it. I had to, right? And ultimately
It's a good deal.
ultimately we went the Plus because of the bigger size. Otherwise, if anybody's going to ask me right now, what's the best value in a Samsung phone, I would say S20 FE, 110%. 110%. Yeah.
That makes sense. It's an ugly phone, but that makes sense.
I completely agree with you.
Samsung phone.
Yeah. But
I do like how this year, though, it seems like everybody's going to be embracing the camera bumps, the leaks of the Oppo and that we've seen.
Oh,
They're not hiding it anymore. They're just like, no,
But that
here's
is
camera
really
bump.
ugly, though.
There you go.
I liked how chunky the Note 20 Ultra was. Like that looked like a weapon. That's what that thing that phone screamed to me. Like I'm here to take pictures and be a badass about it. And
Right.
The result.
And if you step to me, I'm going to crack you in the dome with my phone. I'm just going to go
That's
boom.
nothing.
You'll be like,
The
whoa, what
Asus
happened?
the Asus ROG phones are you could kill somebody with one of those things.
Those things are
They
monsters.
are-
They are solid, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
They
find
are.
it interesting that
But
the
I will say,
Samsungs are
fuck
underwhelming.
Asus and fuck the ROG phone.
Okay.
Oh,
You
okay.
want to fucking abandon the UK market after all these years?
I know, dude.
Fuck you, man.
So Matt,
iPhone
Matt, I
7. I'm out
normally
here.
have a sound bit for that, and it goes like this.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah.
That's my opinion too. Fuck his, he's bullshit. Yeah.
Uncle Spur
Stop
Texter.
abandoning us after all this time.
Love the shit out of that ROG phone. Love the shit out of the Zenfone 6. And then but apparently they may be coming back in the UK very shortly with potential.
Yeah. That's what LG said.
Oh, LG. Goddamn.
So Spurt,
Yeah, they're another
what are
one.
you?
What's
what are you-
LG?
What are you using for phones?
All of them. Every phone you can imagine.
Every phone. Yeah, I got this phone. I got that phone. I got all these fucking.
Hold on,
phones.
but what do you have? What do you have your main personal SIM in right now?
Yeah, I can't tell you because.
Okay,
you know
okay,
why.
all right.
It's
all right.
blue, ain't it?
I understand.
No, it's kind of blue. Sort of, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's kind of. I can't remember
I
what
don't
the
know what it
exact
is
thing was.
actually.
It's kind of whitey blue.
Yeah.
Whitey blue?
A whitey blue.
Whitey blue.
It depends
I'm pretty
on
sure
how
it's
I do it,
Not pressure the man. Let's not pressure the man.
probably
We'll
fucking-
finish with
yeah.
We'll
I
finish
think
TK.
we should show it just to be safe. You know.
I'd say 3 more beers and he'll probably show it us anyway. So
Yeah.
So we'll
Now, what's
finish with
TK
Sam.
rocking?
Sam, what are you using right now?
Oh, I got. Yeah, TK. I got my Duo. That's my.
right. Yeah, the
that's my
Duo,
go.
right.
That's right.
We
Yeah,
went
Duo.
all the way
We just
around.
didn't have TK, right?
No, we get TK. We missed TK.
Yeah. No,
The best
I,
for last.
TK.
I'm in the same. I think it's because you kept moving people, so you
Oh, okay.
lost the placement.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm in the same spot where Josh was, and you guys already talked to Josh, so therefore I kind of like got the pass.
He's the new Josh.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
It is.
New Josh, what phone do you use?
So primary sim, similar story to everybody. The S21 Ultra with the S Pen case. Let's see if we can get that to focus.
Oh, nice wallpaper as well.
Nice. I love that.
Always
That's
Dragon Ball. Always Dragon Ball from.
That's a big boy
Always.
with that pen case, right?
Yeah.
It does add some thickness, yes. But I like the fact that they did it with the S-View cover because at least it covers it. Doesn't look as
Yeah.
bad. But,
Yeah.
Right.
this one is my primary, which is where my SIM card is, and then of course the Xperia 1 Mark II.
So let me ask you this
Oh,
solid
nice.
thing in regards to the pen. Do you think
Yeah.
there will be a Note 21 this year? Do you think there will be TK, and why? Or
I
why
think
not?
I think the Note is still around because this implementation of the pen is very different. This is very much a passive connection. This is not a powered pen. There's no power going to it. So at the end of the day, I think my prediction is this. I think the S Pen Pro or the premium version of the S Pen is going to come out around the Fold, which is what a lot of people are talking about. And I think the Note still exists because this doesn't fix the problem. There's a massive ergonomic problem with this. Is that unless you're left-handed, and there's nothing wrong with being left-handed, this is designed for left-handed people. The pen is on the left, and for me to use it, I have to take the pen, move the phone to the left. This whole gymnastics that I have to do to use it. So overall, it's a nice design. I think I like what they've done there. The fact that we have an S Pen, like you said, better to have it, not to have it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I don't get out of it, even with the S Pen, is that whole. Like I don't feel the way the S20 did for me from the S10 with the S21. That's the weird feeling about it, right?
Okay.
We get some new features. We lost some other features, but to me, at the end of the day, I'm more excited realistically on a daily to use the Xperia 1 Mark II. I'm just waiting for the update to Android 11. I really, it's one of the best cameras on the market, and
I love the natural colors when it comes to that camera. I love it. In low light, it's still.
yeah.
But in daytime, I love it. I love that it's not like we're gonna remove every single shadow that is there and trying to push that HDR up and whatnot. I like it. It's more natural instead of that oversaturated.
It's not like it used to be.
shot.
Well,
I
hold
don't-
on, Jermaine. Are you still finding that the
think it's
camera? Are you still finding the camera on the S21 there is oversaturated? Because I'm finding compared to
it's
my Note
better.
that it's not. It's dialed down a little bit more.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
There was a video I saw on this. Because it's the chips, Snapdragon and Exynos. The Exynos one
Yeah.
seems to have dialed down
But even then,
saturation
I'm
compared.
going from Snapdragon to Snapdragon.
It's really weird.
Right. I think even the Snapdragon, I think they've kind of toned it down just a bit. There's some noticeable.
Just a little bit.
They've come off it a little bit. Yeah.
So that's the other thing that's the difference between the two is we get different image processing
Yeah, but
compared.
it's natural, I guess. You get
See, I'm
different-
on board with everything what TK said there about how I think there will be a Note. That on top of what I've also said, which is the Note, like that's Samsung's big boy at the end of the year. That's everything. That showcases. Plus, if you look at the history of the Note, while everybody else was going small and compact, they went big. They even did a whole thing about this back when the Note 9 or Note 10 was released. And on top of that, 3 years ago, you saved the brand from the battery issues. Okay, so the Note 7, right? You don't go to that kind of trouble and bring out the phone,
The what?
recall it back, bring it out again, and recall it back, and then go full transparency with everybody. Like, this is how this is how we're going to make our batteries safer. This is our process. To then wipe it out 3 years later. Now, am I saying that it was on the board 3 years ago to say that we're going to wipe it out 3 years later? No, but I'm just saying, look how much work has been put into that. Like, it's kind of like Apple saying, "Yeah, we're not going to make the iPad anymore." Like, that's just suicide, in my opinion. Unless the numbers are ridiculously low. Like, this isn't just some other A or J line that you make every year. This is the Note. What are the two big events from Samsung every year? Galaxy S, Galaxy Note, right?
Yeah.
And now going maybe to this year, depending on what happens, maybe FE. I just think that's completely. I think it's just trash. Plus, if you look at what they did with the S21 line, it's only the Ultra. Only the Ultra that has third-party pen support, or separate pen support.
I can see it being removed when Folds fully have a working pen. Right now, of course, it's plastic, so don't see any way of making that work properly, but if the folds somehow allow for a pen to work on it without getting scratches and whatnot, I can see the Note disappear. Or maybe something where they sell it next to the S series, so that you have like a.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah.
I think the approach to the pen on the fold is not going to come to the fold itself. I think their first approach are going to be to the external display.
Yeah.
Because that was one thing they did with the external display this year, is that this is literally, I mean, they could have put pen support on this. There's no reason why they didn't.
Yeah.
So they could totally do Wacom on the outside, and that's how they approach it with the Pro Pen. Because they seemingly announced the Pro Pen, but nobody has it, and it's coming later this year because we're all going to go pay $70 more for another pen that we bought. Well, I already paid $70 for this case and the pen. So the timing, I feel like that's the way where they'll release it, and it'll be on the outside display this year, and then next year maybe they'll bring it in.
Here's
It's possible because Michael Fisher just did a video on the Lenovo laptop, the foldable, and that has pen support, and he doesn't scratch the screen. So I don't. We're closer than we might think to.
We also need to think outside of our tech bubble. For example, like I don't know about you guys, but when I go out and about, when you can go out and about, I don't see people
Out and
buying.
about? What's this?
I don't see people rocking foldable phones. I talk to the 3 guys that I know that own carrier stores up here, TELUS, Rogers, and Bell stores. They own multiple locations, 5 or more. I'm like, how many foldables did you guys sell? They sold 1, maybe 2 last year to the general public, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I don't know how it is down in the United States or overseas or whatever, but
It's probably just as bad, if not worse.
yeah, I don't see the mass adoption yet. So for that reason, again, when people say, "Well, the foldable is going to replace the Note," I don't. No, not yet. No, maybe not yet.
No,
Not even close.
Not for a long time.
You guys
No.
should see when I go to doctor's appointments and I take the Velvet with the dual screen case with me because I want to have that. Like when I'm gonna have to wait for a long time.
You probably get some wild looks, right?
So no, people.
Oh, yeah.
People ask about that. They're like, "Yo, what's that?" And then I'll show them, and they're like, "Is that 2 phones?" And I'll show them like what exactly that it's a case and it's in an LG, and they're just like, "I didn't even know that people were doing that." And it's just it's such a wild thing for most people. Like they're like, "What the?" So it's pretty dope.
That
And that's just the case.
says
Yeah.
that just says something about LG's marketing as well, though, doesn't it? Really.
Right. Well, same thing with Surface. I mean, nobody even knew that was a thing. Like I said, when like Jeff's right. I mean, when I'm out and about, I mean, even Becky made a comment. It's like, Jesus, I mean, people always ask about that Duo. She goes, it almost like she doesn't want to. I just go, yeah. I mean, we were looking at the other day. Stoves. Like we were looking at stove at Lowe's.
What were we
the
looking
lady
at? Is she there? Hello.
She's in the room. She's on my couch. So, I opened up and the lady was just looking at the phone, and I was just talking about the stove, and the lady was like, "What kind of is that? One of those folds, right? The fold, the Samsung." I was like, "No, it's not." She's like, "That's pretty cool." I said, "Yeah." So Jeff's right. I mean, people notice that. I mean, when you're out, because it's something that looks totally different. People don't even know it exists, especially anybody who's an iPhone user. They have never heard of anything
outside of the US.
Because that's what they asked me. They asked me, they're like, "Oh, that's a case? Can you get that for any phone?" And I was like, "Nah." And it was kind of one of those things where like, "Oh, okay, so you have to have an LG phone." I was like, "Yeah, it's specific to this phone." And they're like, "Oh, okay," because I see that it has USB-C, and I thought maybe I could just put whatever phone. I was like, "No, it has to be for this. It has to be compatible."
See, that's where we have a big hole in the UK for that. We don't dual screen phones just aren't
the thing.
They're just not a thing. Nothing.
Never see that outside of
Microsoft, no LGs, no nothing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the Duo. Is supposed to be there soon. I hope. I think they already mentioned middle of February.
Well, we're supposed to get the Wing as well, but you know.
Yeah.
No,
so I think the Duo's supposed to hit the UK and France and I think Germany. I think in the middle of February. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But yeah, impressions of OnePlus. Now they've released a ton of different devices and slowed their update schedule. They've gone the way of the not. Yeah, some OnePlus becoming a normal Samsung kind of company and not necessarily the tech enthusiast, cool, never settle, kick the door off the hinges kind of company.
I feel they've moved that never settle and all that off the hinge stuff down to the Nord, and the OnePlus has become the more serious,
the premium side. It's they really
the
broke it up
Nord is
to
where the playful stuff
Nord is. Well, that's where they used to shine. They used to shine in that price point. So I think that's where they needed the Nord to fit in. And they have a series from all the way from like 150, 180 bucks, 300, and then all the way up to $500-600. So they've covered literally a spectrum of everything.
Except the naming. The naming's a bit.
It's all over the place because the Nord, you've got the Nord and then the Nord 10, N10, and then the N100, and it's just like, well, hang on, guys, it makes no fucking sense.
Now, which one is? Because there's I forgot as well. The N10 was the more expensive compared to the.
You got the OnePlus Nord, which is the sort of
that's the
380.
$399.
That's the mid-range. And then you got the N10, which is the next
which is
step down.
$349.
And then the N100, which is the next step
Which is
down.
a higher number.
Yeah, exactly.
As you go down, the number, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One extra zero, but it's a worse phone. Oh, okay.
Extra zeros for more shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. They're thinking. It's like, yeah, let's just call it the N100. Fuck it, that'll work.
Yeah.
They've been no. They were hanging around with Sony. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
They've been chilling with Sony, going, "What should we call
Hold on
these
a minute.
phones?"
What's
Numbers
Sony?
and letters.
It would have been the NZ-X3912 hand job.
Mark 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark
I
5.
think this is where Sony have shot themselves in the foot because they do it like the 1 and the 5 and the 10, so they can't go Xperia 2, 3, 4, 5 and then carry on like
No,
that.
so
So now
it's
they're
the
stuck
Mark II, the
with the
Mark III,
marks.
the Mark 4.
So when they get to Mark 5, I think they're going to have to change the name again.
Xperia 5,
well, of course.
Mark
You
5.
can't get to the Mark 6, the Mark 7, and then the Mark 5. They're going to have to
It's gonna be
again in a few years. Sony are going to change the name of the phones.
Well, I like that, like what LG did with like where they're calling phones the Wing, the Velvet, right? They're calling it names. There's not any numerical identifiers in the name, right?
Yeah.
They just what do you have? I have the Wing. Not the
it's
Wing
like-
2, not the Wing 7, not the Wing 14, not the Mark X2, right? It's just, what are you rocking? An iPhone. What are you rocking? A Wing, a Duo, right? It's just a simple name. I think these companies have gotten so stupid with these names.
You've got
It's
a
like,
Wing
do you realize?
and a Duo.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I've
that's
got
what.
a Samsung Xperia XZ3 Mark II 3.1, and I've also got a
Yeah,
Nord
I just-
N100.6 Mark IV.
I know. I just appreciate that the fact that LG came off the G8, right? They came off of they just said, let's just call the name, right? The LG Chocolate, the LG, the Droid, right? This go back to, look at cars. You don't call a car, this is the new Fusion 2001 X2. It's like, it's the new Ford Fusion. It's the whatever. They come up with a new name for a new vehicle line, right? And you just know it's the Fusion, right? It's a 2002 Fusion. It's a 2003 Fusion. It's a 2004, right? But they don't change the name. I wish the companies would just go back to just naming schemes or schema that are just normal, right? Call it something cool. The chocolate. How many people remember the LG chocolate? I thought it was a cool phone and the name was cool. You just what you got? The chocolate. That's pretty cool, right? It's just, the names with the numeric.
1980s just made a good point. Xiaomi are king of naming the same phone differently in different markets.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, this is true.
Oh, the real, yeah.
The Redmi, and then you have the,
Yeah,
Oh,
just
the
make it
worst
simple.
thing- The worst thing is when they call it the same thing in different markets, but it's different specs and different features.
Yeah.
That's what blows my fucking mind, like fucking Oppo, but it's
Yeah.
Reno. God damn it. It's like Reno 4Z, but it's a completely different Reno 4Z from what you get in India. So,
Which
will say-
Oppo, which Reno am I getting?
yeah, exactly.
Well,
I don't know. We're not really sure.
It's a
Take it home and find out and call us later, and then we don't care.
Chris
Surely
will
that
know
is
this one.
harder,
Realme are the worst for this. Realme you don't know which Realme phone you're getting because they all X
Oh, yeah. They're
something.
100% the
But
same.
then
Yeah.
the X2 is better than the X50, but then the X50, it's like
Yeah, and again,
I
it's
don't know what phone's what
and
from
the
Realme.
7 in one continent will be completely different from a Realme 7 in another continent. So,
Right, but I have a question about that. Is it because that's a targeted market for India, and do people in India really? Is that like a thing for them?
No,
Like,
because
which is
the
fine. but then
LCD,
you've
the
got to realise-
LCD versions are the X50 and things like that. And you got the Realme X2 Pro and then the X3. You know what's coming up. Then you got the Realme 7s, which are
No.
in between the X2 and the X50. Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you search for stuff on the internet, you might not necessarily get stuff that was produced in
Yeah.
your country. So then you're getting completely
You're
different.
getting a different from yep.
Oh,
you're
At
getting a
least
different-
with the flagships and like the Xiaomi, not the flagships, but the Mi 11s and the Mi 10s, the naming is the same.
Yeah.
So like the Mi 10, but then they did do this thing with every other company uses the letter T to signify a better phone than the one that came before it.
Kind of the
But
midway
the
one.
Mi 10 is better than the Mi 10T Pro.
Yeah.
So it's a bit because like the OLED screen and the better battery, the better camera tech, and the Mi 10T Pro's LCD screen and blah, this and the other. I'm like, wait, just pick a name
It's a roll of the
and
dice, baby. It's a
fucking
roll of the
stick
dice.
with it.
Just
Yeah,
do what
no.
HTC did back in the day. Just name it random shit. The
Yeah,
most
well, I love Xiaomi,
Yeah.
whatever.
but their naming of their phones is a bit
it's
weird.
old.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah,
don't
I
hate
like
on
the things
HTC. You're touching
I'm
my
not-
nerve. I love my HTC.
I'm not hitting on HTC, mate. I love that fucking naming convention. Just call it whatever the fuck pops into your head after you've
Yeah.
had a few pints. Just
No,
call
but
it the HTC fish and chips. Job done.
Right. HTC, go fuck yourself. Yeah. What kind of phone you got? Yeah, go fuck yourself. Well, go fuck you too. It's like, no, it's the name of the phone. I didn't make the name. I just, whatever, man. It's cool. I'm just trying. I don't want to be. What you got, Jermaine? What would you have there? Show me that again, please, sir.
It's the M9, right?
Classic.
Oh,
Is that the M7 or the M9?
Color as well.
it looks like
remember that shit?
They call it HTC One. Just HTC.
that's the regular
There you
one, the
go.
black HTC one. Oh,
Do you remember when phones had one camera on the back?
right.
I love
What the
that.
hell's that?
One fucking camera.
Can you remember when you used to have one camera on the front? Never
You know,
mind
or-
the back.
Or also when the camera module, like the G8, where it's totally flush, where it doesn't
Oh,
stick
so
out. Where
nice.
God, it was like, like
That's
my
the most
G8X.
underrated thing.
I know. I mean, I would care if the phone's a little thicker. I think that they can do that. Like I said, it's funny how we go back to remember the days we had removable batteries and one camera and a headphone jack and all that shit, and they were
one?
made out of plastic and they had different colors. Yeah, who cares, you bunch of basic bitches? That's fine. We're gonna do it all this way now. It's like I
It
just
was
miss
the
all that
LG
stuff. man.
V20. I think had it perfect because it had that premium feel, but it also had the
No,
removable back.
The V20 was
second
nice.
display.
Man.
Note 4.
I missed the V20 time.
No, the Note 4,
missed it.
absolutely.
Note
Yeah.
4, fake leather all the way.
Yeah.
Leather.
Oh, yeah, like
The
the,
LG G5, we all remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely phone.
No, that was not.
yeah, the S5 had that weird feel on the back of it too.
But it was
Yeah,
just
that's
like a
stippled. It's
plaster.
like a stippled.
It
Yeah.
looked like a band-aid.
Like a band-aid.
That's the
Yeah,
one, man.
good.
That's the one.
If you had
That's
the full
okay.
version, it was fine, honestly.
Well, and this is just because I'm kind of partial to it, but my
Old.
Windows Phone, I remember getting the Mozo cases, right? You remember being able to take them and have the wood and the leather Mozo cases on the back of your 950 and your 950 XL. I mean, that's the stuff that you don't get when you have phones like this now. You don't get removable batteries, right? You get an immediate charge, right? And also, if you like the Mozo cases, they had really nice ones. They're like wood grain, they're actual wood, right? And it was just nice. I kind of nostalgic about it. I might just miss the old M7, just a simple metal build. You didn't need a case if you had one. I mean, who bought an M7 that like rocked a case? Nobody. They just was like,
Speaking of building materials, I know this has been a point of contention. For example, and I think it got really magnified with the Note 20 and the Note 20 Ultra, based on the pricing. In my and you guys, I think you guys know where I'm going. We'll go around with this. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with a plastic built phone, i.e. Pixel 4, a Pixel 5,
Nope.
in a way with the materials they're using there, Samsung S20 FE, etc., S21 introductory, as long as the pricing reflects it properly. Now,
Yeah.
let's be clear here. Most people are picking up their phones because they're signing like a tab deal or something like that with their carrier 1 or 2 years, and they're getting reduced price. However, there are a lot of people, including us here, that buy our phones outright. What do you guys? How do you guys feel about that? About plastic, glass sticks, whatever you want to call it, as long as the price reflects it. How do you guys feel? Or do you feel that if a phone is in a certain range, it has to be made of something?
If the price reflects it, 90%, I'll say, of people, doesn't matter what it's built of, they're buying a case.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what do you feel though, Matt? How do you feel about that?
I honestly don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah.
If the price reflects it, then fine.
Mhm.
The way Samsung have done it this year is really good with the matte finish, and
Yeah, as long as it's
why
durable,
not? The price
then let's go.
reflects it, so why not go? You still get wireless charging, and
Yeah.
it's not like I don't get why. Yes, okay, if it was 1,000 like the Note
Or
20, yeah, fine.
yeah.
Then no, it shouldn't be plastic. But no,
Yeah.
if the price reflects it, go for it. Get an extreme skin. Put that on the back.
Right.
Sorry.
Jermaine, what were you
Channel
gonna say there?
sponsor. We've been in an hour and 20 minutes. I've not even mentioned it once. Sorry.
get you an extreme skin. It's way over there.
Just
We
yeah.
love extreme skin.
Get you an extreme skin, then you don't have to worry about it. Then you can have whatever you want. But yeah, Jermaine, what were you going to talk about, like the material on the back? I want to hear what your comment was.
Okay, I'm fine with plastic. Just don't have plastic. What I mean with that is, for instance, when we had plastic back phones in the older days with the starting of smartphones, they used that in a creative way. They made something where the texture had a nice feeling on it and whatnot. They used it instead of making it look like it's something that it's not. For myself, when it comes to that, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm fine with glass stick. It's more durable. Yes, it scratches up easier, but everyone uses a case anyway in modern phones at least.
Yeah.
Or skin.
But if you make a phone with a glass stick back, use it in a creative way. Don't just make it look like it's somewhat of a glass kind of thing. It's
I
not.
100% agree with that.
I just don't
Yeah.
like
I do miss the days where they just went, it's plastic, we're just going to embrace it and just do what we want.
Yeah,
What you doing?
I miss the
Cheap to shape
Lumia.
it whatever you like, so just
My-
do whatever you want with it.
The polycarbonate on the 1520 to me was like the because remember the color
Well,
was
that's
all
another
the way
thing,
to
the naming of it. Oh, it's got a polycarbonate. No, just call it plastic. Just
Well,
call
whatever.
it
I'm just saying, but what
Well,
was
call
nice
us-
about the
call
Lumias
it-
was
Call a snail a snail. It's just
You know what's
Right,
interesting
it's
about the
fine.
whole- you know what's interesting about the whole plastic thing is when I was doing my research and everything on the S21 series, nowhere on their website that I could find the word Glastic. I can't
Right.
find it anywhere.
No,
on
it was
Samsung's
last
website.
year, wasn't it, that they used that? They didn't
But hold on,
actually
who
promote
came up with the
anything
word
this year.
Glastic? Because I don't think
don't
Samsung
know.
did. Maybe TK.
Oh, I
did
think
for
so.
it.
Yeah. Samsung that did it.
They feed it to you in the press briefings. They absolutely rub
Yeah,
it in there.
They
they
call it-
claimed it was a
Plastic.
mixture.
Okay,
so
so
they
was it-
called it plastic.
You're saying in the press release or the actual media release, it
Oh,
actually said plastic.
in the pre-briefing, they were quite
Okay.
heavily leaning on the whole Glastic thing.
Really? Because I'm looking at
Plastic
the, because
and
I'm looking at the
plastic.
press release from this year's S21. I'm looking at the thing from my PR rep, and I don't see that wording
It's
used at
hiding
all.
it. It's
Yeah,
hiding it.
it might not be in the press release. This was just in the briefing that we did.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
no,
the pre-brief.
to me, as far as I like the 1520 and having like the fact that the coloring was all the way through the casing.
Oh,
so if you
God,
scratch it, it was still green, right? You could still scratch it, and you didn't see underneath like coated. It wasn't coated; it was colored all the way through. And I still have my 1520 now. It's a black one. I don't have my green Lumia anymore. But just when I pick that phone up, it's like
F in the chat for that.
it just feels awesome. It's just like I know I can drop it, and I know the backs. If it gets scratched, who cares? It's okay. It's
Yeah.
durable enough. And like if you had a 920, you could literally take it and throw it down the stairs. Like just drop it down staircases. And it's like just dust it off, and you're like, cool, man. I like the colors. You know, call me a schmut. I mean, I like green and red and yellow and white. I just like give me all of it. I understand it's harder to push SKUs, and people are all into. Different. It's hard to give it movement, but yeah, I miss that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, I do as well because
Got it.
unless you're gonna give
Oh,
us
Ben's
something
here.
Ben's here, man. Okay, that's it.
Hey.
Now we have enough UK people. Are you happy now, Matt? We got Ben, so Ben's
Hey,
here.
Literally,
The
all
UK.
people.
Was it-
No, this would be a UK setup here. There we
There
go.
we
Now
go.
we're appropriate UK.
We
Was it like
are
11 o'clock
UK.
right now in the UK right
Yeah,
now?
it's
We're all
late.
the UK. Nice.
Yo. What's good, people?
It's
I'm,
10:30.
I'm normally in bed with the hot chocolate by now. It's quite
Yes,
Ben.
well, you listen.
What's up,
All
man?
the
Quit
UK
being
people
such a-
are now lined up on the bottom, right? We've got to
Right.
stick together.
Hey, UK Mexican wave.
Ben, sir, how are you, my brother? How you been, man? I haven't talked to you in a while, man. How you been? I know your content's been ripping, man. You've been doing awesome, man. I'm
killing
like
it.
loving your stuff. You're killing it, brother.
Subscribers counts just going up and up and up and up and up, man.
I appreciate that, man. So I jumped on there. I just brought back the live stream show today after since more than half a year. So
Can your live stream do this?
Oh, God.
Look at Zach.
You stop
He's
flexing.
still got to do it.
Zach,
Gotta love him.
Zach, do you really want to have this one? Because if you go check, okay, Zach, are you sure you want to have this one?
I'm just saying.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. I'm Canadian.
Ah,
no,
okay.
no.
Right. He's sorry. Whatever it is, he's sorry.
If you want to know about multicam as well as streaming in 4K, we could talk, bro.
Crispy. Okay.
Crispy.
You're
Not
doing
just-
live streams- you're doing
Hey,
live
as long
streams
as
good,
I
but,
have- As long as I have StreamYard as a streaming sponsor, taking care of my 1080p for the year, I'm stuck. I'm stuck there right now, buddy. But I love it. bro.
Because Ben brings it 4K, but he brings that shit crispy
No,
4K.
Ben's has always been crispy. And actually, I was going to hit up
Ben's
Ben
the
about.
4K guy. And
I
we're
was
stuck
gonna-
at 720p. Just
I was
We're
going to hit
basic
up,
bitches.
Ben and I were actually
You aren't
talking.
even fucking LCD.
I was gonna bug Ben about about doing the whole 4K and OBS kind of thing, and then I started talking to StreamYard, and they're like, we like what you do and everything like that. I'm like, they asked me, can we work together? And I said, yeah. I said, you guys want to take care of my 1080p for the year? And they said, sure. And I said, okay, I'll give you guys a shout out.
No. I respect that. Like, bro, I can only have this with you because you're the only person that proper goes hard at streaming in terms of is like your streams are.
Ben,
your streams are now just different. They're different now.
There's an element in things that you've done, Ben, in the past with your streams and with your content that has really influenced mine. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Nah, you've like the stuff that you're doing with like your lower thirds and like you're just it's different. It's next level stuff now. Even me, I'm thinking, okay, I need to go back to the drawing board.
But if anybody can go higher than me, it's gonna be you, man. So thank you for it. We appreciate that.
And Simon's right. Ben is the 888, and we're all 810s overheating and shit. That's what we are. We're a bunch of 810s overheating and shit over here.
You know what? You know what's funny? Ever since and Ben, I'll tell you this. Ever since I got the A10 Mini, because it's doing all the lifting now, everything's going into the A10 Mini. Ever since I got that, I can now go longer than an hour before this A6500 shuts off. Like here we are, an hour and a half in. Normally by now, this camera would have shut off and said, nope. Done. Like this camera right here would have turned off.
My 51.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. I think concept creator Jermaine was asking me about getting. I think he was saying, "Oh, should I get an A7 II or an A6300?" I said, "Please don't." Those older generation Sony cameras, like I think we're just so past the usability problems, and I just wouldn't want you to just go through those usability problems because you have to kind of band-aid those cameras a lot for them to get to the level that you're working. Yeah, you don't realize by the time you've done that, you might as well spend money on an A6600.
I just realized that I've had this now.
Fun fact, I'm on a 5100 right here.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Sick. I'm on a Xiaomi, so yeah.
I'm using my Omen's camera. And did you like Ben? Did you like Ben's flexing with his arm where he's like showing off his guns? He's like, I gotta itch this for like 8 to 10 more seconds. I'm just gonna do this
camera
real quick.
Here. This right here is an iPhone. This right here is an iPhone.
If I had another, just Xiaomi Mi 10T Lite. I mean,
250D.
Right.
480p. Done.
I'm using a bloody Logitech webcam over here.
Crispy 360p right here.
Yeah, it's crispy. It's not really crispy. It's more like kind of sort of soggy. A little smeared. It's fine.
You lot will be really happy you ain't got to see this face in 4K. I'm just saying.
So Ben, since you're talking about like fixing up the cameras so they work for like what we need nowadays, like I just realized that this A6500 is probably 3 or 4 years old now when I got it. Yeah. What would you recommend? So this is an A6500. What would you recommend would be the next step for like what we're doing, like for like, the streaming and also recording and whatnot? Like, what would you be your opinion? What would you?
It would be the Sony lines. The only reason why I say the Sony lines is because the 64, the 66, the A7C. There is a camera missing in the Sony line, the A7 IV that needs to desperately come out, and the A7S III. All those cameras have just fixed all the usability problems, and the main usability problems that I class as a good usable video camera is one, unlimited recording internally.
Yeah.
Yep. To me, it doesn't matter whether you do short form content or not. If for video camera to really be classed as a video camera, it has to have some form of unlimited recording. The reason why is I know Chris, Techspert, we met from when I was working at OnePlus and I did the briefing with you and stuff.
We did.
You shoot on a GH5, and the GH5 is a camera that came out January 2017. That was doing unlimited recording all the way up to 4K 60 frames a second, full sensor readout, no overheating, full size HDMI port. So my point is, it's more just progression. If cameras were doing that from back then, it shouldn't really be a problem for cameras now.
So I guess my question is what's the next step in a Sony that's primary video? So for example, we know that, and I know you have reservations about it. Like I'm looking at getting a ZV-1, not for the main, but for like top down, like for a second. Because right now, for example, like I don't have a camera 3. Please help me.
Right.
So like I want to get that for that. But for example, if I wanted to go from the 6500, but primary video, because I don't do any pictures, I don't take pictures.
Okay.
And I'm talking about streaming and for video. What would you say would be the next
66? The only reason why I say the 6600 is it's got a headphone port built into the camera body, so you don't need an external monitor to be able to monitor your audio that you're plugging into. One, two, it uses the newer generation Z-type battery. So the Z-type battery is bigger, so you're not using the older, smaller batteries that you find in the 64 and the 6500. Internally, you've got unlimited recording. That's just a big win.
That's a big one. Yeah,
that's just a big win. You can't underappreciate when you wouldn't want to use that for any situation. If you're, let's just say now you're recording your live stream, but yet you want to record the camera internally on the SD card as redundancy backup while you're streaming for 2 hours, just in case the A10 Mini or anything fails. You know you've got that redundancy eternal recording, and being able to just press record and know that it's running for hours without overheating, and it's just all on one file. It's a peace of mind that you know how live streams are. Things are happening live. You can't control everything, so that peace of mind is great. And then you've got a flip up screen, that you can monitor yourself in any capacity.
Yeah, right down.
So I'll definitely say, I'll definitely say the 6600 as a bare minimum. For video, for any person that doesn't want to do any of the fancy stuff I'm trying to do, you know.
Gotcha.
So
I have a separate actual newer monitor here that used to be on top that I've put here. I mean, but I understand what you mean. Like, for example, if I decided to take it outside the studio for vlogging, whatever, probably be a good choice. And the nice thing is, like, probably I can still use my Sigma lens on there, I would say, right? So It's an E-mount, right?
You can still, it's an E-mount. It's a full E-mount, and the great thing about the E-mount ecosystem is the cohesion with obviously their full frame glass all the way down to their APS-C glass and how it can interchange in between the two. Okay. It's there's still me being picky and someone that likes gear and just video production gear. Yeah, the 6600 is still, if I'm going to nitpicky on it, it still misses a lot of things. There isn't no 4K 60. There's a slight crop in 4K 30. It uses a micro HDMI port. The SD card is in the battery.
Does it use the Super 35?
So it's a Super 35 sensor, but the problem is for you to get a full readout of the sensor, you have to be in 4K 24 frames a second. So if you're a person that shoots in 4K 30, it crops 1.2x. It's not a big deal, but it's one of those ones like, you know. Okay, so it's one of those like now you're just splitting hairs. You're just being nitpicky because some of the competition just don't have.
So it's a similar crop to what this guy does, because I noticed right away when I went down from 4K 30 in order to dial in my audio here. I had to force it into 1080. I'm like, all of a sudden, I got this wider thing. I'm going, oh my god, people can see the dirty dresser over here and the dirty desk. So I had to move the camera physically closer. So now I got that Craig Ferguson thing going on.
So I'm gonna say this because it's my show and I can. But
hey,
I heard Ben come in and he
show, motherfucker.
It's our show, but I'm gonna say it's like Ben just came in here and just slayed. Like all the camera shit, I'm like, dude, he's saying shit that I don't even fucking know. It's like way here. I'm like a basic bit. Like I'm way down. I'm not getting basic. I'm not even hitting off the T-ball.
I'm learning right now.
And I'm just like listening to him, and he's saying numbers. I'm like, yeah. I have no fucking clue what he's talking about, but whatever it is, I'm in. I'll listen to his shit forever.
Ben and I talk on Twitter, but if I get a chance to talk to him one-on-one like this, I'm going to take advantage of it. Sorry, Sam.
Oh, no, that's fun. No, it's fine. I'm just like, I'm watching, and Ben just comes in here like, let me see if I can break it off. This is what you need to be doing,
Ben, I'll
Zach.
hit you up privately a little bit more, but awesome.
Yeah, he's so good. Like, dude, it's so good.
But you lot set me up, man. I feel bad. I've not even said hi to everyone properly. TK, hello.
No.
Hey, man.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Chris, good to see you again. It's been a while.
Hey.
Right.
Don't lie. It's never good to see Chris.
It's always good to see Chris. Chris is my spirit animal.
Spirit animal. Spirit podcast.
Jermaine,
it's
per usual. We talk enough as it is already, but always good to see you. My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Man, you should bring those back,
legal
man.
reasons. You know me, I'm the only person that still bugs you about that intro. For not legal reasons, I want that intro back.
I want that intro back too.
I want that intro back for just my own selfish reasons. Zach, obviously, Sam,
totally want it.
Matt, and hey guys, it's Roger here. Roger.
Yes. No, I just look at Matt and I go.
Just the space filler. Just ignore him.
Right. So what's great about that is, like I said, it was awesome. I was going to let that organically happen because the show is never scripted, right? So I'm looking at Matt. I'm going, Matt, we're so like out of our league. Like we're not even in the same neighborhood as all these guys, man. That's why we just love having. And here's the thing. It's like, well, here's the funny thing. I sit here and watch your guys' content. I watch Jeff's content. I watch Zach's content and Ben and Spurt. I'm watching these guys. I'm like. And I tell Matt all the time when we talk offline, I said, we get to talk to these people like almost like we're equals. Like literally like they're like, but we're not. It's like they have such great content and they're so professional and they're so dialed in. And we're like I said to Jeff, I like to say to Zach on the way, we're like posers, man. I feel like a poser, but it's not in a bad way. But I thank you for coming in on a Sunday, sir.
We're like, we don't belong here.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Like I said at the stop.
You lot doing great.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Like I said at the start there, nobody's tuning into me or to Ben or to Jeff for multiple angles, crispiness. It comes down to the content, because if you're not delivering on some sort of value, why I'm here for your stream, why I'm here for your 2 or 3 minute, 5 minute, 15-minute long video, you can be as pretty as you want to be, but you're not going to necessarily serve an amount of people. Now, there definitely is a segment of people that want to watch crispy re-roll this and that. But in my opinion, there's that kind of stuff has already been served and done well by other people who do it much better than me. Right? I come from the world of sales and marketing and getting up in front of people and doing talks and everything. So this kind of thing works well for me, for my strengths and everything. I can't do what Ben does. You know, I can get up in front of the camera and bitch about a camera, but I mean, but about a phone or whatever. But the way Ben makes it look, like I can't do that. I'm more of a sit down, like turn on the camera, here we go, right? So yeah.
Everybody has their own
how you
style.
feel.
That's the thing.
Ben, your
Have a
volume's
sit down,
going.
plug it in, and here I am. Woo.
Ben, your
Right,
mic's
and I think
going.
that's the beauty of the community, right? There's different people's not only experiences but also capability, right? So people have different kind of flow. Some people, like Ben's, clearly, obviously, very into cameras and knows his tech, like knows the hard numbers and
I
knows
know,
the,
right? If
the
only we had
specifics
an
about it.
audio guy as well. Like, I can't
We
think
do.
of anyone.
He's in the chat.
Yeah, fam. I couldn't. I've tried, and I think I've done a decent enough job, but I couldn't bust audio like what Jeff does. No way. I couldn't bust concepts like what Jermaine does. Yeah. Like, you know, in terms of just like actual clinical B-roll. When I say clinical B-roll, I'm not talking about, there's a difference between fancy B-roll, right, and clinical B-roll. I can't do what Roger does. That clinical B-roll.
I don't
Roger's
even know what
nice.
I do, but thank you, mate.
It's, you know,
Right.
if I look at
you,
Chris,
Roger.
like,
I don't even know.
Oh,
It's
your
the thing,
B-roll
people
was
say that,
just
and I'm like,
legit.
really?
No, I mean
no,
it's. I mean, here's the thing: aren't we all our own worst critics? Like when we look at ourselves, I was like, that's the whole point. We want to strive for better, but the problem is we're almost always self-deprecating, right? We're always like, oh, my content's not enough. And I mean, I don't know. I don't create videos like, you know, like Ben and Roger and Jeff and Zach and all that, like in TK. I guarantee you probably, and these guys are established, right? Have been doing it for a while, have got their kind of flow, know what they're doing. And I guarantee you, Jeff's probably looked at video and go, man, this is not getting released. There's no way I'm putting this out in the space, right? You look at your content, and you know you're capable. You know your content. You know what you're doing. But yet sometimes you're just like, I'm not feeling it. And so if you're not feeling it internally, you have to.
If I had Jeff's ears, I would never release the audio that we like. How we sound, I would never. I'd be like, no.
No, but to be fair, I've scrapped more videos than I've released for sure.
Well, I think everybody has,
Like every single video that I put out, I record every single video 2 to 3 times. So every single one, and then I'll pick out the one that I felt the best, the one that sold me the best to myself, and that's the one that I'll put out. But even then, and then even then, like I've done videos where I thought it was good, and I go back and watch it, and I'm just like, no, like if I'm not feeling it, nobody's gonna feel it. So I'm like, so I'll just scrap it, and I'll go back to the drawing board and either restructure the video. You know, my opinions will still stay the same, but it's like it's something about it just doesn't feel
delivery.
Right.
You're basically what I know what you're saying, Jeff. You're looking at the intangibles. Is the intangibles that you want to touch the audience's subconscious that they can't put their finger on, that will make them just either say, I agree with you, or I'm going to sub, or like, it's just, I get what you mean. I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's something where you just get to a point where you just, as a creator, when you're depicting your own content, you start to look for to improve. And that's what I mean, like with Chris, I don't work at OnePlus anymore, so I can share this. But I think your OnePlus 70, your OnePlus. What happens is like a bit of share talk, because I was national training manager with OnePlus like back in the day.
I didn't
so
know
I used to work
this. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Chris can be my
That's
witness.
what I read the lads. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like basically any products that were coming out 2-3 months before, we'll brief all of like the UK journalists alongside PR. So I was like first and only national training manager. So what happens is when the embargo lifts and all the videos go live, that particular day, it's me and one of the PR guys, our job to just sit down and watch all the YouTube videos for all the journalists that we've briefed.
Oh, you poor
just
bastard.
to make sure that there's any mistakes, but if there's something that they're concerned of that we can find out information of, we can feed it back to them. Like there was one mode where people couldn't do 4K in the ultra wide angle camera, but we told them that there was an over the air update. So I started messaging the guys and whatnot. But when it came to Chris's review, he made a joke about the case that came with it, and I kid you not, that was the talk of the office the whole day. When I say the whole day, the whole day, because we were all floored. We were all floored because said this is why we just look forward to his just inappropriate jokes that he makes appropriate sometimes.
Chris, inappropriate. No,
Inappropriate.
I don't think that's a possibility.
No one can drop it like how he does. It's a northern thing as well. Like if you're from the UK, you know
Yeah.
the northerners just have that kind of
no one can
weird-
drop stuff like he doesn't get away with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get away with a lot for a northern southerner. Do you know that?
Yeah. And then it's like I look at TK from the experience from when you've come from XDA developers, and
Yeah.
my thing is it's more. If I look at TK and I think of like someone that's thorough and no homo, soothing to very listen to.
Yeah.
No one can do it like that. That kind of soothing delivery, but thoroughness,
Appreciate it, man.
and the experience that comes with it. Like you were talking about from, guys like Brandon Miniman, and that's the uniqueness. And if I look at you, Matt and Sam, you guys are the reason why I vibe with you guys is you guys are the definition of literally just start. Start. Don't overthink. I'm telling you, overthinking is like the plague of every content creator. You guys are the definition of just not overthinking and just doing it, and just naturally allowing the flow of how you will get better naturally. Just take course. Yeah. I'm just saying that's personally why I vibe with you guys. So,
Yeah, and like I said, I like to try to, and like I said, Zach brings his takes on things. Jeff's great, and then Jermaine's concepts are just like fantastic. Like I've never been mesmerized by a video. Like when they start, I'm just like captivated. Like Jermaine's content is so and that's the thing. I remember watching the story of Howard Stern, and he talks about like the studio executive was talking about like, hey, I know people love this guy, right? But it's like even the people who don't like you, they're wanting to engage, right? It's all about engagement and listening to your content, and it doesn't really matter if you're bringing passion and bringing entertainment and bringing fun and really enjoying it. And so we just go organically. Like I said, I can talk to Ben all day about cameras, but I want to talk to Ben about stuff that you wouldn't know. Like that's what we try to bring to that, and we're just going with it. Like I said, I do it because it's fun. I don't ever want it to be work. I know that Zach.
Fun.
It has to be because I don't want to leverage it. I know maybe that's not the game. Maybe everybody wants to try to see if they get in.
Yeah, but now your dumbass got a new mic. I feel like I need to get one myself.
It's in a box. It's in a box.
All
Just
the
remember,
way
you don't.
through the rest of this year.
Just remember, you don't have to spend a ton on microphone because I've been using the Samsung I've been using is £50, or sorry, it's $50 US, somewhere around 70 right now. But it sounds amazing to where people were like, "Oh man, what microphone are you using?" I'm like, "Dude, it's $50."
Yeah.
Like you don't have to overspend to get good audio. You just got to know where to allocate those funds.
The only reason I'm using the Rode is because when I was doing the Painfully Honest Tech podcast, which
I know.
Rode sent it to me and they sent it to Jason. Before that, I was using the classic Blue Yeti.
Yeah, and it sounded great.
And I got it. Yeah, and I got it dialed in because of his help and a bunch of other mic, this and that, closeness and everything like that. One of the key things about the Blue Yeti is a lot of people don't talk into it properly, or they don't, they don't turn on the polar pattern properly, right? So we got that dialed in, and we also put it on a boom arm, this same boom arm here. And it sounded great. In fact, when I switched to this, a lot of people said they couldn't tell the difference right away. So it depends on how you use the gear. I'll give you guys an example. Dave West. You guys all know Dave West, right? Yeah. He takes the most beautiful photos with the crappiest phones in the world. I swear to God. Like, seriously, right? And it just proves to you that you can have all the cameras and all the this and gyroscopes and mirrors and da-da. Is that going to make you a better photographer? No.
Right.
Right. And the example is,
nope.
Like the Pixel 4a is a complete cheat code. Right, you put that up against, like, for example, the Note 20 Ultra, for example. Right, so I mean, it depends on how you use the gear, right? Like Jeff said.
and so that's what we just like to have. And like I said, I guess the thing is, I don't want this to not be fun. Right, the day it becomes not fun is the day you need to step away from that and just walk away. I mean, that's when I was a law enforcement officer. I used to like being a cop, right? And the day my sergeant first said, he goes, "The day you don't want to do this anymore, man, you got to walk away from this. Just the day you wake up and you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like I don't enjoy what I do. You have to enjoy 100%. It, even if it's something simple, right? And that's why I stepped away from a career that I really enjoy and I kind of miss. But I had that epiphany, right? That moment of clarity where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Not for not anything external, right? It wasn't external forces that caused me to quit. It was just like I woke up, I go, it's been 10 years and I'm done, man. I want to do something different with my life.
Matt
that's where I am.
I appreciate you guys having me on. El Jefe,
Yep.
Jermaine, DK, Spurt, Ben. Man, you came in late. We'll have to talk. We'll have to talk.
You guys can talk on the breakout room offline. You guys can talk and go crazy, man. That was awesome.
Mr. Roger, everybody that's been watching us and everything, I appreciate you guys having me. I have to get going though. It's coming up on 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
here,
so
and-
even same for me. I genuinely wish I really said it. I think if my stream didn't overlap so long, I would have had more time on here. But yeah,
No, that's
Ben,
make
I want to get you
we'll
on
make
my
it
stream.
fun.
I'm gonna do a daytime stream so it works for you because I normally go at like 7 o'clock, which is like 3 o'clock in the morning for your something.
Man,
So
you-
I'll figure something out. We'll get on together.
My family, because I got family that live in Regina, Canada, Saskatchewan, and
Regina.
man,
Oh, okay. Regina.
yeah,
Regina.
It's close. It's like
Regina.
Derby. It's like Derby.
It's Regina, Canada. Regina, Canada,
It's
the city
fucking
that rhymes
Derby.
with fun.
Shut
It's
up.
also the home of Death.
Derby, mate.
It's fucking Derby.
But,
I mean, like you lot, all you
Derby,
lot,
mate.
when you're doing Clubhouse and stuff, it's all during bedtime, 3 a.m. I'm like, bruh,
Ben's like, man, I ain't got enough, man. I'm too. I'm like, hey, I'm Ben. I'm tired, man. Give me a break, man.
So we'll link up.
You know, you can't never catch everything. I miss TK and Pond's stream on a Thursday because it's like 3
it's
a.m.
gone.
here.
Yeah,
It's gone. Yeah, no,
That's
that's
the
why.
one. I'm like
we have
the
a lot to
replay
talk
squad.
about. Star Wars, Marvel, camera,
Right.
all of that. So let's organize. You know me
For sure.
And the thing is, I'm gonna organize my stream to get guests on it as well. So
For sure. No, I'm
the
available,
stream,
man.
the stream should be live. Go watch the replay. It's back now. So yeah.
But
We'll
with
do it.
that,
Like I said-
I'll leave you guys with this.
Nice. And remember, and Zach, like I said, I'm willing to take a day off work to be on streams. If I can find a way to make my day work, it's in the middle of the day, no problem. I can
My
get, like I
streams
said,
are Monday. Look, I'm going to plug here. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. See you guys there. Take care. Cheers.
So, yeah. So if you're not listening to Zach, please, everybody listen to the stream offline. Please check out his stream. It is fantastic. It's good times. It's awesome. And we're at that like 1 hour and 45 minute mark, man. So we have
Dude,
had...
this has gone the longest we've gone in a long time.
Well, and it's awesome because, like I said, I
She
can't
said.
I can't imagine a better group of people who really took their time when we were just starting this off, just to come on our
I will
show,
give
a show of not
solidarity
many.
shout out to Brian and Troy who couldn't make it.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, but
They
yeah,
wanted
I
to be
mean,
here,
just-
but they couldn't make it.
so we are always, like I said, we just the fact that you guys are
We
taking
are
time.
in awe.
Yeah, at any time you guys can take out of your busy schedules, we realize that you guys are taking time out of your busy days, and Ben's staying up late to talk cameras just because.
Except Chris.
Except Chris.
I've literally got nothing better to do.
Chris is like, I'm locked in my house. I can't leave.
Technically,
I will
the
literally
four
be
of
standing
us-
drinking either way. It's fine.
Now,
the bottom four, because we're all UK, we're all in lockdown.
Hey,
so.
are you drinking as well, Ben?
Yeah, I've got a can of Foster's. man.
Chris, why do you sound surprised? We are all in lockdown. All four of us cannot go fucking anywhere.
Wait, you've got a fucking mug of tea or whatever, you twat.
It wasn't a mug of tea, you dickhead. It was fucking juice.
Oh, it's juice. That's better. That didn't make it better.
Mega Pickle mug, hashtag some gadget guy merch, TK Bay merch, and across the Pondcast merch. I'm just saying.
Hey, is that your name? Is that your name, mate?
Yeah, it's Matt. Not Nate, it's Matt.
Matt!
But no, I
I'm
will,
from
I
the
will say this,
Midlands,
Chris, like,
not
with,
some form of southern northern guy like you.
with,
from the north,
since-
lives in the
since
south.
Rocombo. I think it was Rocombo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the channel.
Combo, yes.
Yeah.
Don't talk
The
about that.
your personal channel is really kicked off well, man. So like
Yeah.
it's.
But he was on 400,000 we celebrated not long ago, and he's nearly
Yeah,
at
I think half a mil now.
500,000
We're
already.
almost
Yeah,
at half a mil
definitely.
now, which is amazing. It just
That went up
speaks to
so
the
quickly.
ambition.
Oh, yeah,
We can't figure it out
He was
why.
like, "Woof."
Yeah, I got.
I don't know. I know what it is. I guarantee you, if he looks, it's everybody who's in the UK pissed and in lockdown.
Yeah, I think that's basically it.
90,000 Brits just went, this guy's a legend.
I think it's more that they've got nothing better to do. They're just
Right.
stuck here in their fucking houses. They're just like, oh, whatever. Here's another.
Yeah, it's good. And Roger with the your sponsorship, man. The energy,
Legit,
the energy
that's
drinks. I
great,
was watching
innit?
that video. I was just laughing. I was like, oh man,
Do you know
that's
though?
good stuff.
I appreciate it, Ben. I appreciate it, and I was really like pleased about it and all that. But you know what I'm like? I did the same thing again, and this is my whole issue. This has been my whole problem ever since I made my first video. I spent 4 days, and I'm talking about 9-hour days, 4 days to make that video. That's how long it took me to make that video.
I told
on
you.
earth?
Clinical.
Why on
Clinical.
problem.
That's why.
I got a big
that's what I'm
problem,
saying.
Ben. I got a big problem.
Clinical. When I say clinical video production, it's not about fancy. It's just clinical. That's just Roger. That is
It's
just-
clean. Yeah, it's
I
clean
know
and
what
tight.
Ben's
It's
saying.
just tight.
As a viewer, it's just something you just.
Yeah, it's
so.
what do they talk
That's
about
a
in
problem,
sports,
though.
right?
That's a problem for me. I got to
Clinical.
sort that out somehow.
No, it's like in sports, right? There's always the intangibles. Like, why is a guy a good striker? Why is he a good batsman? It's like
I
those
love
little,
how you said striker first.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. I pay attention. Here's the thing I've noticed. You know what? Because of you, Matt, you asshole. Now I like the other day.
I'm
The guy asked
representing
me.
UK hard, guys. I'm just
this
saying.
is the UK. This is what happened. So I was in a meeting. and somebody goes, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm mustard." They're like, "You're what?" I went,
What? No.
"I'm mustard." Like I said, it's like, yeah, I'm just like I start using like proper like English slang. Like I'll talk and I'll just say weird shit in a meeting. And they're like,
Did you hear I'm mustard from?
I've heard that.
of-
I've
Yeah,
heard
that's
that.
the thing. No, we see.
Because I can tell you now, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you. It wasn't you. But here's the thing: it's like I can listen to Ben now, and Chris and Roger and you, and then now I can hear like the super variance in the language. Like I can't tell where everybody's from because I'm not that good, but you can hear the differences in the like. I would have, it's been a cultural awakening, and I have to admit,
The literal difference is about 5-6 hours between all of us as well.
that's the crazier part. It's like you guys are so close. You would think that variance doesn't exist, but it's so clearly obvious. It's like I go 5 minutes. Like it's a bean mix, it's a barm, it's a this. It's like chip cob. I'm like,
cob.
what the?
It's a
It's like
cob.
yeah,
I
it's,
even remember
Oh
any
my
of this
god,
stuff.
we spent
What is
a
all of that?
fucking hour discussing.
yeah,
this.
it's
Let's not
it's
fucking
crazy.
do this again.
Are you talking about a roll? Is that what you're talking about? What is
Yeah,
it?
roll.
Yeah.
It's a fucking carb, Roger.
But I don't even know what that is.
No, if you ask for a roll, you get
Jeff,
together like you're a
Jermaine,
fucking
TK, sorry, I kind of I lit these
It's a cop.
people from the UK
It's a
up.
bun,
They're
a
like,
roll,
they're
a fucking
fight, like
cop.
literally fight over this shit. I'm like, I don't know. It's like whatever. It's a Coke, it's a Pepsi. I don't give a shit. It's all the same.
No,
So-
it's cool. I actually kind of need to kind of start. I also want
Yeah.
to work out as well. I appreciate it.
We
Thanks,
see what
guys.
you've done,
Right,
Roger.
TK,
You
man.
see what
Big
you've
shout out
done.
to you, man.
I
Just
know,
get
I feel bad.
TK.
Appreciate it.
So,
Always, you guys. Hope you guys doing good and
Thank-
have a
oh,
good rest of the weekend.
Thanks
You
a lot
too,
for coming
take
in,
care.
man.
Man, have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Later.
all right, so that's a good time to wrap it up. So Jeff, Jermaine, Ben, I appreciate even if you're late, sir. Just you're taking your time out to show up, man. It's been awesome. Chris, go fuck yourself. And then Roger, my man who fucks
do you
over people
mean?
from Amsterdam. That's my man right there. He
what are you
don't get
doing?
anybody.
You bring your foreign friends to the UK and do not buy them fish and chips, you motherfucker.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. What am I like? And the funniest thing of all is that I was standing next to Buckingham Palace, and Jermaine says to me, "Roger, this building
You
is
don't
amazing. What is
didn't
this
even
called?"
know what that
and I'm like,
was.
I have no idea, mate. It's
This
just some
place-
kind of building.
I don't know. It's got like windows and
didn't-
stuff. I don't know.
This guy didn't know what Buckingham Palace was.
I had no idea,
This guy.
honestly.
Yeah.
The most
You
British
know what
sounding of
really,
all of
really
us.
Yep.
You know,
I'm
If there's a-
standing next to it, and I am literally, this is a cool building, you know. And Jermaine's like, "What is this, Roger?" And I'm like, "I have no idea, mate." And it was fucking.
Maybe I should take Google pictures. So,
no.
we appreciate you guys coming on. We're at 1 hour and 52 minutes. Jeff, Jermaine, Ben,
Oh man, it's been so much fun.
Chris, and Roger.
Appreciate
Sir,
it, man.
thank you guys for coming in the show.
Thank
We
you very
appreciate
much for having us.
everybody.
Yeah,
fellas.
that's cool.
We love you guys, and we're always. And if you're not paying attention to anybody in the stream, all the people, please check out their content, man. They are bringing the noise, bringing the funk. Jeff's audio stuff is fantastic. Ben's talking
You
cameras,
can't get audio stuff anywhere else. I'm sorry.
No,
If
man,
you go
you-
somewhere else,
I
you're
appreciate it,
wrong.
man.
and Jermaine's concepts, and just just the content is awesome. And we love you guys. And for ourselves, for Across the Podcast, have a good week. Enjoy the Super Bowl in case you want to watch it. So it starts in half an hour, or less than half an hour. Get you some.
Yeah.
And
Enjoy that football that isn't football. You can't.
yeah, the wrong football. That's okay.
Yeah, it's 3-on-3 now. Because no,
Yeah.
4-on-2 because he calls it football and all.
Yeah, it is football. Jeff doesn't care. It's okay. So that's Across the Podcast, the best podcast you never heard of. Be good, stay well, take care of your tech. Enjoy your rest of your day. Enjoy your week. We'll see you next Sunday, 3 o'clock Central
It's
Standard.
midnight for us.
Yeah,
it's
Exactly,
far
yeah.
over. Far over, so it's a long day still.
yeah. We love you guys. Take
Chris
care.
is going to be passed out in about 2 hours. But
2 hours? That's fucking generous.
He'll be done in 20 minutes.
Dude,
everybody.
I'm halfway there. I'm
Bye,
already.
Yeah.
guys.
Take care. We love you guys. Have a good day.
Fuck you, Sam.